What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ Dangerous Chapman.
Hey, and I'm friggin' Diggins over here.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Yo, the friggin' Yankees!
This week, we got a movie, one of the big surprises of the year. Did not even know this was an option until very recently, so very happy about this. We're going to be talking about the new season of Quibi's / Roku's The Most Dangerous Game.
I think I called it a season.
I don't know what it is.
Well,
it doesn't know. It thinks
they call it a season. They call it a show. It's blatantly not, but
no,
I don't know.
I had to explain it to people, and I'm like, listen, it's not a show, but that's what it says. And yeah, that is what it says. So
yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, Quibi, that was the whole point, and it was a stupid idea, but whatever. They were committing to the bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did they keep doing it this way?
I bet it's because you pay everybody less. And still, like, if it's short episodes versus the other thing, then yeah, everybody gets a lower rate. Because
that's great.
Yeah, like there's no other good explanation. You're right. And yeah, it makes it worse. It makes the whole thing worse. Trying to get through all this stuff. Because, yeah, it's, I mean, listen, we'll talk about it. Because I'm an eternal fan of these. And we all love Quibi. Everybody here loves Quibi. So
that's right.
We, as a podcast, have probably more Quibi loyalty than anyone I know. And,
oh my gosh, yeah. No one has more than us.
Except maybe that Quibi fan podcast that got sued by Quibi.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we are not with them. That would be bad. But yeah, I'm very excited. Cannot wait. Before that, you guys, we have so much news. Two newses, really. Real quick, let's do this. This is the news of the week that is the one I brought. Big comic book news today. Kind of. It comes in two parts. First one, James Gunn and Dick Cheney finished their search for the director of the Superman movie that James Gunn is going to write. I don't know if you guys saw who James Gunn and Dick Cheney picked. It's Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm really interested to see his interpretation.
How Superman, instead of throwing all the nukes into the sun like in the fourth movie, gets all the nukes back from the sun and uses it to restore the world order that Dick Cheney approves of. Gives them back to Halliburton to be dismantled and used as,
We're going to de-emphasize the truth and the justice and really focus on the American way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, lies and injustice will also probably become big parts of it as well. But yeah, if only Superman world was real and Dick Cheney could replace his heart with a big piece of kryptonite like Metallo and then both use it to run his whole body and destroy Superman with it. Unfortunately, he cannot. For a second, I was like, is he still alive? Is this mean? And then I was like, A, I don't care. B, I'm pretty sure he is. But yeah, so James Gunn, Superman, how excited are we?
Can he make a movie that isn't like, haha, so funny? It's so laugh a minute. Because, I don't think that's going to be, the Superman movie that I want to see. But maybe it is, and I don't know it yet. Maybe I'm an uncultured slob.
I mean, obviously, but what else,
I was going to say, Superman, I feel like, is a property that requires a level of sincerity that I wouldn't say James Gunn doesn't do, because I think his movies are very sincere, but they're also, like DJ said, very wacky and filled with jokes and stuff. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see what he does with it. Because if it is just a standard James Gunn movie, I would probably be like, this isn't a great fit for Superman. But I also kind of trust him to be aware of that and try to do something different, so who knows?
Yeah, I feel like he's just good enough at this that I have a feeling he will be able to make the movie that he seems to know is the one people want. Like, if he was just given his own Superman movie 6 years ago and it wasn't this thing that all society was like, don't make it like this anymore, make the one where he's nice and stuff and smiles and stuff, then I think maybe we would get some other take on Superman. But I think he's going to make not even by the numbers, but the Superman that everyone wants desperately, which is what if he was bad,
Oh, we haven't done that yet.
His eyes could be lasers when he's mad. Yeah.
It's actually going to be a sequel to, what was that movie about kid Superman who's bad?
Mm-hmm. Brightburn. Remember Brightburn? A movie he produced.
Yeah, so it's going to be Brightburn 2 with him as an adult.
Do you know the Brightburn universe has a bunch of movies in it? That movie Hero with Rain Johnson. or Rainn Wilson, excuse me, or not hero. Is that what it's called? Super.
The other half of that word.
Exactly. That exists in the Brightburniverse, and I think there's even another one, but I can't remember which one it is.
Yet more imitators trying to copy off the success of the Dark Universe.
Exactly.
How dare they?
Speaking of that, my other Superman news of this week. I don't know if you saw Zack Snyder's tweet today.
I try not to.
You're missing out. It was a 14-second long video that just says incoming transmission, and then the word from Lord Darkseid, and then that's it. And it gives a date, April 28th to April 30th, 2023. Save the date, ... Zack Snyder tweeted that out with the hashtag full circle, and I guess Darkseid's gonna come get us.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the world's gonna be destroyed. He's found the anti-life equation.
I'm glad he told somebody, Zack Snyder, so then we can all prepare. We got about a month and a half, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'll be ready.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what is this? I think I could
the
Snyder cut of the Snyder cut? Like, what is it?
People think it's some sort of Zack Snyder convention where he will screen the Snyder cut. That makes sense with the days.
That sounds plausible.
But we've already seen it, so like, what's new?
But we haven't seen it in a forum where afterwards everyone tells him how good it is.
Oh, right.
Maybe this one will have that scene of Green Lantern that they made him take out because they were like, you didn't tell us you were putting this in, and he did anyway. Maybe this will be in it. I don't know.
Maybe we'll also get the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad while we're
now, that would be something. Probably not, though.
What if it's an unsanctioned, like, Justice League sequel that has Darkseid in it?
Oh, that'd be so good. Yeah, like those fan edits that have, like, kind of CGI models from PlayStation where some of them are good, actually, to be fair. But yeah, where it's like Thanos versus Darkseid. What would it be like? I don't know, but it's coming. Speaking of the Flash entering the Speed Force, you guys.
No!
This week was the 50 bazillionth annual Academy Awards.
Yep.
And they did not do that, which is probably why it was so bad. But no, did you guys watch it live?
Yeah.
I did.
What'd you think?
Like, very fine. Very exactly fine.
Well, the broadcast itself, yeah, fine. The awards given, I mean, listen, the Oscars could never avoid being the Oscars entirely. Of course, we're going to give Brendan Fraser the Oscar for The Whale because he was a handsome man who looked like a not handsome man. And that's the most impressive thing an actor can ever do.
Well, almost as impressive as playing a musician where you sound like the musician, kind of. But, yeah, those two things
sound like him forever.
Battle. Yeah.
They've decided that being a handsome man who looks like a not handsome man is more impressive than sounding like a musician, kind of.
That's a good point. And to be fair, there was not a best male actor or whatever performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. So
leading male, yeah.
The leading male, yeah, exactly. So they had to see that everybody else had one shot. That was it.
But yeah, other than, some stuff like that, I thought the general distribution of awards was pretty good, which is to say Everything Everywhere All at Once won a bunch of awards, and that was my favorite movie last year.
I mean, yeah, I think that's right.
Although, there was that point where it was like, oh my god, is All Quiet on the Western Front going to win all the awards? That was pretty exciting.
For like 2 seconds.
Yeah, on all these technicals.
I have a question. Mostly for Diggins, because he cares about this stuff way more than I do. So, I think the one thing that's a pretty big flaw in the Oscars show, and maybe even the awards to some extent, is that there is no more mystery. It is the thing you think is going to win, and it's going to win, and there's just, what's going to happen before the show happens. A, is that a problem? And B, is if it is, how is it fixed?
Well, A, I don't think that's 100% true. Somebody famously bet on the odds-on favorite for every category and did not get 100%, or even the best performance in the little pool we were in.
I deviated once, but I still would have lost if that one deviation would not have saved me.
Actually, the one deviation you have actually counts as a win in the pool if you look, because I guess Bill could not believe that anyone picked anyone besides Michelle Yeoh, so he just said everybody got it right.
Nice.
I think that is, so it's not like 100% true. There are still upsets. There are still like things that happen that people don't expect. I mean, famously, a couple years ago, like, even the Academy itself was like, Chadwick Boseman's got this in the bag. And then,
yes.
That being said, I think it is a lot more predictable than it used to be, which... I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, it's not really about the actual awards that much. More of it's an opportunity to look back at the past year movies and be like, hey, here's some movies that I thought were cool, and let's check out these ones that the Academy thinks were cool. And generally, if I hadn't watched them yet, I don't like them that much. But, oh well. They're big, important movies that came out, and I like being on top of these things.
Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, I just, for me, I wish there was, like, a little more mystery, and, like, honestly, like, I don't know why the Academy Awards doesn't say fuck it and, like, move their calendar super up. Like, have them in, like, I don't know, the week after the Super Bowl or some shit like that.
Well, because the
like,
idea is
like,
that...
yeah, we're before all the other ones. We just go first now.
The idea is that it is the culmination of awards season. It is the last awards show of the season.
Yeah,
like,
but it kind of ruins it then, though, because it's like if you were, you know, in the beginning or the middle, we wouldn't have this like big group think where everyone's just like, yeah, it's everything everywhere. Like that might have happened anyway, but I'm curious to see like going forward if this is the trend where it's like, oh yeah, it's Coda because we said so, it's this because we said so. Like the one argument you can make is like everything everywhere has been the favorite from the get-go, which is pretty rare. Usually if you're like the early favorite, it's bad, but it like was the favorite from the announcement and just kind of kept that train rolling. So
I don't think that's true. I mean, maybe it's true in terms of the Vegas odds, but in terms of like following the awards and everything, it was definitely not the favorite at the start of the season.
You know, what do you think was?
I don't know exactly what was. I think maybe like Tar or Banshees or Fabelmans was also hyped to be pretty big. Although Fabelmans, unlike those other two, didn't do so hot.
Yeah. I mean, Tar didn't do so hot either, right? They didn't.
Yeah.
Well, not at the Oscars, but I mean in an award season in general, Tar did pretty good.
Right.
But like,
as award season went on and Everything Everywhere started winning a lot of stuff, then people were like, okay. But a lot of its wins came late in the season. Like, it only became like, oh yeah, Everything Everywhere is definitely going to win, like, in the last couple weeks.
I guess last year's probably a better example with like Coda, where it's like I feel like Coda doesn't win if the Oscars aren't in like April, like they were crazy late last year. Because everyone just like kind of decided, and like because you think last year was you had the right-wrong theory where they get it right one year, wrong the other year. You think they got it wrong last year?
I went and checked that, and that theory's super wrong. But I did say that, and I do think Coda was not the right choice last year.
What did you think was the right choice last year?
I said of the ones that they nominated, my favorites were what did I say? I drive my car, or I really like West Side Story too.
Ugh.
Incorrect. Dune. Dune was the best movie.
Dune was the right choice, yes.
It was both the most ambitious and the most interesting.
Yeah.
Dune, I mean, listen, I wouldn't have been upset if Dune won.
Yeah, Dune would have been cool.
All right, well, I'm glad we solved the Oscars. Everybody.
We did it. We solved the Oscars. Move it up. Week after the Super Bowl. I think you go Super Bowl right in the Oscars. I think it'd be great.
I just feel like you either have to be the first or the last if you're supposed to be the big. But then if you're the big one and you go first, then like nobody cares about the other ones. The other awards would hate that.
Well, but they're all just things that rich people made up to hang out with celebrities.
Yeah.
Screw them. Who cares about the Golden Globes? You know?
Well, but the people who are in the Academy are also the people who are in those other awards shows. So those are the Academy would never make the decision because it would make everyone in the Academy mad.
Yeah, I feel like they should be more specialized. Like, I like the Writers Guild, they get one. I like BAFTAs. I wish there was more, like, the action movie awards or something, and then Top Gun could win a bunch, and you go, well, they won all the action ones, so maybe they got a shot at this one. But it's just the Oscars, and then the real Oscars. So by the time you get to the real Oscars, it's like, well, the other one's all won, so that one again. It's only like with the BAFTAs where you're like, ooh, they picked the Irish After Sun guy. Maybe that means he'll win the Oscars, you know? But it did not play out that way.
What did you guys think of Jimmy Kimmel as host?
Was he any good?
What did you think, Diggins? I liked him. I thought he was, neutral enough.
As far as these things go, I guess he was fine. Which is to say, most of his jokes didn't cause me physical pain.
Yeah, it's fair.
Did he say slap things? I didn't see
he said slap things.
This was actually my most important prediction that I got exactly right. Okay. I said there would be 5 references to the slap, and there were exactly 5 references.
Wow. Look at so smart.
What were they? Or, like, do you remember any of them off the top of your head?
God. I mean, most of them were just like little asides where he was like, oh man, like when Best Documentary Feature was coming up, he was like, oh man, guys, this is when it happened. We're going to be really careful or something. And at the start, he was like, hey man, we have a crisis team now to intervene, which means if you try to get me, you got to go through all my crew. And then he lists a bunch of actors who are like big buff men.
Hey, is that what I said he was going to do when we talked about this, DJ?
I think so.
I did say he was going to do that. Point out all the tough guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite was he was like, if anything like the slap happens again, anyone gets assaulted, just do exactly what you did last year. Nothing. Just don't do anything. Just hug him after he gets an award and just don't do anything. I like that because I think it's a good observation about. It's like, yeah, they didn't do anything last year when that happened. They're just kind of like, okay.
Well, he was slapping people. He could have slapped them next.
Like, yeah, they were so scared.
A good guy with a slap is the only thing that could have stopped him. But
I think it was that they were so used to the idea that as rich, famous people, they never actually suffer any consequences.
Right.
That when one of them did something to another one of them, they were like, "What? What's supposed to happen here? I don't understand."
They were like, "Wait a second, is Chris Rock poor? I didn't think Chris Rock was poor, but he was slapped by a rich, so that must mean he is."
Yeah, they had to call up their accountants to be like, "Hey, can you sort out like general net worth? Chris Rock, Will Smith here. Like, does Chris Rock have enough wealth that wasn't okay? We're not sure."
Yeah. I mean, listen. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Chris Rock's got money, but Will Smith's got money. Like,
I mean, no doubt Will Smith is the richer of the two.
I would say that's definitely true, except sometimes stand-ups, they got a lot of money. Like, I do think it's definitely true that he is, like, yeah, Chris Rock has less money than Will Smith. But, like, if you're asking, like, Dave Chappelle, you see it, they get paid, like, $40-50 million for, like, one Netflix special that isn't very good. It's, like, so much money they get.
That's true. You can get a lot of money for talking about cancel culture.
Yeah, reading all your tweets out to everybody. Yeah.
Would either of them be able to participate as a bidder in the Most Dangerous Game?
Will Smith could, yeah.
Okay. Does he send a proxy, or does he go himself?
Well, I think we learned at last year's Oscars that he would take care of it himself.
He would just go, he's like, I'm doing this murder.
Yeah, he'd even try to blend in with, like, a wig and stuff, you know? Like, he dressed like he was in The Pursuit of Happiness or something. You know, like, walking his dog or, like, reading a newspaper on the side of the road. Like, hey there, kid. Thinking he's all clever because he's an actor,
having a rough
so that
day?
would be one of his skills.
Oh, he would be the actor one. We don't have one of those in this. We
well, you get a couple people that try that clever acting gambit.
But I don't think that's like their bit where it's like while they're fighting. Yeah, like while they're fighting you, it's like I'm the crafty actor one.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think some play coy.
It's not too late for next year if they do it again to work in a Will Smith type or something.
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be great.
They just do a Die Hard, someone you team up with in the middle, and then there's a betrayal. Just have that
like
classic Die Hard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, this is the Die Hard of our age. I think we can all agree.
See why Bruce Willis can't act because he'd be great in this.
He would be so good in this. It's like I feel like you could get all of the well, no, because Hans Gruber's dead too. You can get Jeremy Irons back. He'd be fantastic as like the bad guy. He could be what's his name's boss, Christoph Waltz's boss.
We could get Sam Jackson? Question mark?
Yeah,
he's in the Die Hard, right?
He was, and I want to say, who's the kid in Die Hard 3 that's famous now?
Oh God,
the kid in 3.
The kid in 3, one of the kids in the shop at what's his name, Zeus's shop, is a famous actor now. I looked it up. It's Aldous Hodge, the Hawkman himself. Yeah. So, it's a good thing I didn't say Anthony Mackie, which is who I thought it was, because that would have sounded racist, but it's because they're both bird guys. I don't know. Listen, it would have been a fun little bit of trivia. Either way, you could get them. You could get Justin Long is in the 4th one.
Oh, yeah.
He's great at being a secret guy from the middle of the movie. This is a classic thing now.
That's true.
After Barbarian, that's like his best skill. And then Jai Courtney, he might actually do one of these because he's in the 5th one. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead is also in one of these.
Hey, there we go.
I think she's the daughter, right?
She is the daughter, yeah. So there's plenty of really fun weirdos. And is Carl Winslow still alive? Reginald Val Johnson? He must be, because he was in Workaholics not too long ago. So, yeah.
Workaholics was a while ago, I think.
That's true. I guess he was in it long enough like recently enough that I would remember if he died since then. Like,
he is alive. He is 70 years old.
Perfect. So yeah, he could be in it. He could be the cop. That's like, I don't even believe you, sir. Where's all this money coming from? Never mind. We'll forget about that for now. But yeah, all kinds of great opportunities for actors to be in these from Die Hard. Speaking of these, we're talking about Quibi Roku's Most Dangerous Game Season 2.
Hell yeah.
Because it's
Season
really a
2,
movie
baby.
anyway. They lie to you and say it's not, but it is. So we got great stuff. You guys, what are we doing with this? Who's the IMDb'sman in charge?
Well, so interesting, Nando. So I am the IMDb'sman, but IMDb doesn't really have a summary. But I did go to the Roku channel where this is hosted, and I think they do have a very good IMDb-like summary that I find acceptable for the purposes of the game. See, because I am the what's the word? Because I am the game coordinator, I'm doing some improvising and changing some of the parameters of our typical IMDb game.
That is smart. That is something that you will both have to explain yourself for or not.
Yeah. And it's very important you don't tell the board, and the board doesn't know about it.
It doesn't even seem like the board watches the game. I don't even think they know it happened.
And also, it doesn't matter if everything turns out fine or not, or if things had, honestly, very simple solutions that could have been easily implemented if anybody cared.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to know how the Roku channel comes up with these summaries?
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
I would love to.
Well, so as you guys may know, the Roku channel is still in its infancy with, in this content creation game and putting it on their platform, especially with the Quibi content that they bought and probably underpaid for. Whatever they paid for this stuff, it wasn't enough.
No, God, no.
But with the fine people,
there's no sum too high to pay for Chrissy's Court.
Or Punked, which was the first thing that Roku wanted me to watch when I launched the app.
I saw that everywhere. Yeah, I was really excited about that.
They really want me to watch Punked. So what the good people at Roku do, so basically what they do is they get together a list of bidders, but the bidders are all anonymous. They're anonymous rich people, and they have names of presidents. And what they do is everyone watches a movie, and then they bid on the right to write the summary for the movie they watched for the Roku channel. But the twist is that, while it's going on, if all of them do a crappy job writing the summary, someone else can come in and write the summary even better. And there may be a person we saw write a previous summary for a different movie, and we're like, yeah, that person's really good at writing summaries. So we really fall in love with that person. So I have the Roku summary for what one of these fine, mysterious president men wrote.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And as the perpetual loser of late,
No.
I'll just say I have lost quite a few in a row. And I don't mind. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Okay. I will not be keeping this in mind when I make my decision. I want you to know that.
That's fair. You have to be as unbiased as you can, unless it becomes boring. And then you get to change things, so it's fun.
Oh, and if I could give our listeners a quick development on the overall rankings of being the best mostly nitpicker, Roger, our official judge and Supreme Court justice, has said that the March Madness bracket will now be part of the rankings of being the best mostly nitpicker at the end of the year.
Which I think is some horse shit.
I just finished my bracket, so
he's the Supreme Court. He gets to say, we elected him or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. He gets to decide what laws are and if laws get to be around or not, and even make some new ones if he feels like it.
He said I owe more student loans recently. Did you guys hear that? He just decided it out of nowhere, and it's okay.
Wow, incredible.
And this power is important to have. Someone needs to have it, and it should be a rando. Not he's a rando. Randos are on a real one.
But only if they're conservative. If they're liberal, then they shouldn't be allowed to do anything.
Yeah, they should be apolitical, if anything.
Yeah, but Roger we're cool with. Roger's like the best.
Unless he's bad, then I want more Rogers. I want to pack the mostly nitpicking Supreme Court with people I agree with. And every audience member, you can all be in the mostly nitpicking Supreme Court if things go poorly enough for me. We'll see. But
if the bracket's bad, if he doesn't win the summary for the next
we may
10
have
weeks.
to pack the court. Anyway, two of us will lose, right? The whole thing. So I think there may be some late moves depending on who's in last place. So I get to pick who goes first.
Yeah,
right? I'll go first. I'm going to say, after he runs into financial trouble, down on his luck fighter, Victor Suero, must compete in a deadly game of... I'm gonna change that. Must become a runner in the game of his life in his home city of New York.
All right, Diggins.
Okay. In debt to dangerous mobsters, MMA fighter Victor Victory Suero agrees to compete in a deadly competition where he is prey for 5 ruthless hunters.
Oh man, this hurts me to my core. But Nando, Diggins just edged you out.
Yeah,
just edged you out.
Yeah. Champion of edging got me again.
Oh man,
no one's better at edging than me. We are, of course, talking about the practice of in the Super Smash Brothers game, making sure that your opponent can't grab onto the edge so they fall to their death, even though they can't recover. Yeah, that's
you
what
are the best at that.
I'm really good at that.
Oh, man. So, Nando, it kills me because, you got the, deadly game, and you were and I'm like, oh, say the thing, but unfortunately...
I was going to say it. Oh, does it say deadly game of cat and mouse?
It does!
Oh, yeah. I didn't put that in there, but I was like, he's going to say that, and then he didn't.
It's weird because it's not a deadly game of... It's a game of cats and mouse or so. I couldn't... That's the problem, is I couldn't quite figure out what the game even is. Death Tag. I don't know.
I'll read it, but if you had Deadly Game of Cat and Mouse, you would have won it, but I'll read the whole thing. Backed into a corner with his sister's life on the line, Victor Victory Suero agrees to participate in a lucrative but deadly game of cat and mouse in which he's not the hunter, he's the prey. So Diggins had the Victor Victory Suero, agrees to participate, and the prey part was the part where that just put him over. Because if Diggins didn't say prey, I would have been like, it's a tie, but he said prey, and that just pushed him over.
Check the tapes. I said prey, everybody.
Wow.
I'm saying you did. So
I know. I'm telling you, I'm going to check the tapes.
Yeah. So it pains me, but Diggins, you do win this week.
Good. It's good that justice has prevailed once again.
Unacceptable.
Diggins will keep Roger on the court for 10,000 years.
Yeah.
He's never getting off the court.
Roger, it looks like you've got a lifetime appointment.
I think Roger should retire now, and then you should replace Roger with a slightly
someone younger
version of Roger. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Indeed.
Nando, I'm so sorry. You have to tell us what happened in this movie.
Okay. This one I kind of feel like I have a better handle on than I did with Super Mario last week or whatever we did the week before. What was the week before? Oh, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this one is very simple, kind of. It's like the last one of these where a guy is broke for a reason. It's a pretty stupid reason. And now that we know what the deal is with these, it's pretty clear why and what the whole plan was. But he is pointed. Name is Victor Victory Suero. He's an MMA fighter / kind of boxer or whatever. Is it specifically MMA or is it boxing, but also MMA if he needs to?
This is what is confusing because what's Christoph Waltz's guy's name? Miles
Sellers.
Yeah, so he tells us that he had to do MMA for whatever reason, but it seems like he does boxing.
Yes.
Because
So he used to be a boxer. That's what he trained as growing up. That's what he was going to be an Olympic athlete in or whatever. But when he lost the use of his left eye, in boxing, an injury like that disqualifies you. You're not allowed to box. But MMA does not have that requirement. So he switched to MMA because they're the ones who would let him fight.
Well, that's wild because we see him basically box in the first scene. He's in a boxing ring. He's not in an MMA.
That's true. It's an octagon usually.
Yeah. So, whatever.
I don't know what to tell you. That's what the movie says.
The movie doesn't know what MMA is, so it's fine. It's fine.
So anyway, he does that, and he's broke because his sister got indebted to the Russian mob or something, and he has to... So he needs to get lots and lots and lots of money. He tries to steal from Job, but that doesn't work. It's kind of weird. We'll get to it. But then the mob is like, by the way, there's this guy that might be able to help you. And it is the Tyr Foundation, which I didn't realize is like maybe it's just because I played God of War. But it's the God of the Hunt, right? That's what they're going for with that.
Oh, yeah.
So the Tyr Foundation, led by Miles Teller, as far as we know, he's like part of he's the guy who runs the game, but we kind of get a look at the back of house there. It's confusing, but there's a lot of internal politics. As far as we care, he convinces Victor Suero to do the game, and because they are in New York, where Victor is from, they're going to do it in New York, and like we were saying maybe before the podcast, they have access to all 5 boroughs plus Long Island, as opposed to just Detroit, and he's like, I guess. So then he goes and does the game. It's pretty straightforward in terms of like his strategies. He spends most of the time playing Grand Theft Auto, like stealing things and using them to drive to the next thing. Like in the last one, there are 5 hunters that we
stealing things while the owners go, "Hey, what are you doing?" And make no effort to stop him.
And there's 5 hunters that are on his tracks. We don't see all of them immediately. They are, I guess, the ones that matter originally are Wall Street Man, Bostonian, Dog Boy,
and Lava Girl.
Who is the 4th one?
Lady?
No,
Well, you're
she's
missing
the 5th one.
You're missing Haitian actor.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that guy. I knew there's, yeah. So that guy, and then Lady later. There's also, because he keeps stealing cars and stuff, he does eventually get arrested, and that throws a little wrench in everything, but there's a great way we got out of that, and we'll get to it. And yeah, he just runs away from all these guys until the end of it to try to win and stay alive because his sister is in danger. During this, for almost the exact same reasons as happened last time, the sister starts getting deposits of random money, and her and this guy's boss go right to the cops because that's what you do, and get in trouble again. And she has a little plot there for a while until they just give up, and she gets a call from Victor and then shows up at the very end. It's funny because about halfway through when things really start falling apart, Miles, Christoph Waltz, just goes, you know what? I'm just going to change the rules a little bit. And then later when things start falling apart for Victor, Victor's like, listen, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I don't really give a shit. I'm going to hunt or something. And like, so nobody's really following the rules at the end except for the hero of the movie we'll get to. But overall, it's the same as the other one. There's a lot of stuff where Miles is like, yeah, my assistant doesn't trust me, and maybe she does, and maybe the guys up top are bad and hate me, and maybe they don't. And
his
also,
assistant, who I really got to say has apparently been working for him for 8 years, despite being at best 16 years old.
I cannot find most of these people on the IMDb cast list. I want to figure out who she is, but I just don't know. Yeah, she is quite young. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, part of me thought she was like from like, you know, some Disney Channel show or something. Like, she looks like she could be the girl from Kissing Booth, but she's not. But like, she could be her. Not that the Disney Channel show, but you know. And yeah, and he just does a couple different strategies. Victor tries to like do the thing where you run away and you hide in a building and get in a big fist fight. Because this is New York, he goes through a couple of New York landmarks, which I quite appreciated. I don't know if this is what the Detroit one was for people that know where Detroit landmarks are, but for this one, it was all the places where you kind of, well, not all, but some of the places where you kind of expect. Each hunter has a specific signature weapon / gimmick, and yeah, at the end, Christoph Waltz changes the rules of the hunt, kind of, or not the rules of the hunt, changes the hierarchy of power in the hunt, most dangerous game universe, and Victor survives and goes on to do whatever he does. I mean, get arrested immediately, but beyond that, I guess.
Go to jail, yeah.
Yeah.
Although he is rich now, so probably not.
But he doesn't care to be rich. He's like, I don't want your money, so...
Yeah, because he's that honorable, because he loves the hustle grind set.
Yeah.
He wants the experience,
God.
but he'd rather actually not have the $50 million or whatever.
Yeah, he was like, listen, I know you said that you would give me $24 million for living through this night, but actually all I want is one dinner with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
So like, let's talk about business, get tips from him, because that's worth more than $24 million.
Absolutely.
Also, I found this actress, Ciara Bravo.
Oh, okay.
And you were close, Nando. She is a Nickelodeon child star.
Oh, okay.
How old is she right now? Like,
she is 25.
Does not look it.
So if we go by the movie,
listen.
she was 17 when it was hired by Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, some people just look young, like well into their 20s, and that's fine. But it did make that line kind of hard to swallow, because I was like, this is a child.
Yeah.
And, like, just make the dynamic different. Like, you know, I just hired you, you know, and I need you to prove yourself, da-da-da. Like, make her, like, oh, she worked here for, like, a year. At least that would make more sense.
Right. Yeah. And it's not like he doesn't also have guys. Was she in the first one?
No, I don't think so.
No, right? Yeah, it couldn't have been. But yeah, it's just like the first one, which obviously nobody saw. But like, if you know what Most Dangerous Game is, it's like that. This is not even on her IMDb page at all. It's a secret. There's another actor I was trying to place and couldn't find him on the IMDb page, so we'll never know. But yeah, that's it. In the middle, there's lots of commercials because it's a TV show.
I did not get commercials on my
Me neither.
experience.
I got ad-free the whole way, baby.
Did you pay for it?
No.
There's no pay for on the Roku thing.
That's what I thought. And I have like a... Yeah, that's so weird.
Did you watch it on a Roku?
I watched it on my TV that has, I think it's like a Roku TV.
Huh.
I had so many commercials.
Diggins, how did you watch it?
I watched it on my computer, where I have ad block, so that might be why.
Oh,
that'll do
you
it.
smart boy. Well, I watched it on the Roku app, and I got nothing, so, yeah, I don't know.
Well, anyway, it's great. Diggins is the winner.
Yeah, he gets
That's
this.
right.
Oh,
He's
that's
a
what
fair
he
and
gets.
square winner that everyone agrees on.
What did you think of Most Dangerous Game, New York?
Well, obviously being set in the greatest city on earth, baby, makes it better
The
than
Big
the original.
Apple.
The Big Apple. The friggin' Yankees and whatnot.
Mets.
And the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. I mean, I could get into some really granular things about the 7 by Citi Field and how that's very clearly not the 7 that he gets on, but that's beside the point.
The Mets.
The point is that, as you said, this is very similar to the first movie, which I mostly found kind of boring and weird. And I do think this one is better. I think they kind of figured it out in some parts where it just gets like really silly. And I'm like, all right, you got me, movie. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. But the weird episodic format that are not really episodes, I think is very bad for it. Where it stops and starts constantly, and there's got to be a cliffhanger every 10 minutes. That doesn't help the pacing. And also, I just think it's too long. Like, I don't think they had 2 hours and 15 minutes of material here.
Oh my god, is that how long it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
My
like
goodness.
12 10-minute episodes almost. So, and
Well, the
yeah,
first one is
a little
20
more.
minutes.
Yeah,
And I think the last one's also a little longer.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, man, if this was like 90 minutes of just the best parts, this would be kind of great. As it is, I'm like, there's long stretches of this that are just boring, because I don't care about the lead, because he's nothing. No insult to, was it David Castaneda?
Yep.
Who just did an incredible guest turn on
That's right.
Poker Face. So he's clearly a good actor. It's just there's nothing to this character. I only care about the sister in so much as she's psychotic.
It's New York. That's you got to be a little crazy to live here. Am I right?
They from the Bronx. It makes them tough. They grew up on the streets. She knows every criminal doing who's or what's it. She'll show you what's for.
Yeah. So like
She's gonna head to the bodega and get chips.
So long stretches of the movie where it's just like about them and their relationship. I'm like, I don't care about this.
How dare you?
But overall, I do think it's an improvement. There's lots of moments I had fun. It's a better movie, and I feel like if they just refined it a little bit more, cut down some chaff, really drill down on the funny like encounters he has with these crazy murderers, I think this could be like a really fun little thriller series. But that's just what I think. What about you, Nando? What do you think?
I friggin' love these. This one is even better than the first, like you said. I think Victor Suero is better than Dodge Titans.
Well, yeah, they're basically saying that Victor Suero is better than like a cardboard cutout of a piece of bread.
Exactly. And I think he does a great job at running around and looking
Oh my
stabbed
God.
the whole time. And I love that. And
He looks so stabbed.
I love the idea. I do appreciate this one maybe more than the last one. Although, like I said, I don't really know what Detroit's like. This one did feel somewhat New Yorky. Like they went to great effort to figure out how to have him do some things you could only do in New York City, baby. And I appreciated that. I think all the hunters had wonderfully silly gimmicks and stuff. I like the thing I like about this, besides everything, is the mechanics of, like, what's this guy's deal? Why does this guy do the hunt? How did he, like, at one point, when we have a guy explain to us a PowerPoint presentation he had to make as part of the hunt, and I love that. That stuff is great. I like how every time the guy gets Victor in a corner, they give him their Wikipedia summary and, like, all their shit. Awesome. Yeah, all the back of house stuff could go. Everything with Christoph Waltz, I get it. He's a star. For some reason, he's still doing these, and, like, he's good in the parts he's in, but I do not need to see him futzing around with management. I still don't completely understand what even is happening there, so I don't really care. But yeah, all the Victor Suero stuff, anytime we're doing hunt stuff is great. I could watch 50 seasons of this show, all cast and set in different areas with some kind of kooky characters, because it's always just pretty funny, and it is equal parts like entertaining because it's fun to watch, because like is a guy run from another guy, that's pretty good, and preposterous in terms of what is actually happening on screen, which is the part that I think is kind of gets you in the door. Or keeps you like interested in this, because even when you think they're going to do something, it's something else, or like even when you think they've kind of started making sense, they haven't, and I love that. So yeah, definitely better than the first one, and another great watch. DJ, what about you? What'd you think of Most Dangerous Game: New York City?
I think you guys hit all of the high points. I think for me, so I will say, like, I did enjoy this in terms of, like, there's the aspect of, they definitely get, like, and I don't know if they're doing this on purpose or if it just happens, but it's, like, so bad it's good. Like, I'm having fun while watching it, just because it's Nando, to your point, like, so silly seeing, like, all the hunters and their gimmicks. Diggins, you're right about the pacing. It's, like, way too long. It's also funny because of, like, the dumb episodic format that they just, like, don't have to worry about certain transitions. It's like, all right, we're in this scene, smash cut, cliffhanger, and we're in a new scene, and you could probably pick it up by context clues. And, like, like, they don't bother to do, like last time or anything, except at the very beginning of the movie for, like, last time on the Most Dangerous Game. But, like, let's say you were to watch episode 6 and then a week later watch episode 7, you would be so confused. Like, thank God they're released all at the same time, so you can just watch it as a movie, because that's what this is. They just won't admit it. It's season 2 of a television show. They definitely focus on all the wrong characters. Like, I want more of the fixer guy. He seems like a fun guy who I want to get to know more of what his deal is. We still don't have his, like, Wikipedia background, and I wouldn't mind that. Like, in the first movie, I'm like, oh, this guy's fine, but, like, he kind of grew on me weirdly in this movie. I like this little pushback with Miles there. Is not totally vibing.
One of my biggest laughs in the movie is when the one asshole Wall Street guy is, like, mad at him for not saving him from being hanged. So he just, like, takes his glasses and stomps on him and just completely stone-faced pulls out a second pair of glasses.
I think people just do that to him on the street because they think he's a pedophile or something. They even aren't in the game. So it's like, you buy those in a pack of 50, and then you can buy it once.
I did really enjoy his, like, tiny little subplot on this one.
Oh yeah, I love his rivalry with that guy specifically.
Yeah,
so fun.
But yeah, like, I think they're trending in the right direction. I'm with you, Nando. They need to keep making these. I will have fun. So much fun watching this, and yeah, I'm, like, all here for it. It's a great time, I think. Like, and, like, this is, like, one of those things where, for people, like, you haven't watched this, like, the barrier to entry is, like, really low. Like, a Roku account's free. You don't need a Roku. You can watch it on, your computer with ad blocker and have no ads. You can watch the first Most Dangerous Game that is also on Roku. Like, it's very watchable in terms of accessibility. So I think people should watch it.
Yeah. It's good that you don't need a Roku, because if we had a Roko's Basilisk, I mean, that would be the end of the world.
Oh, yeah. Whoopsie.
It's true.
Yeah.
You don't even need a Roku.
Or a Roku.
Yeah.
Or whatever I said.
And
Roko Ono.
That's right. Now, this movie, we got a wheel.
Oh, do we have a wheel?
One of the biggest wheels I've ever seen.
Much like there are wheels on cars, of which he steals some.
and trains and boats. You need to drive it with a wheel.
That's true.
Any other wheels of note?
The wheel of fate on which the whole series of events turns.
I'm trying to think. There's no Ferris wheels. That's one place that they should have done is Coney Island. That could have been fun. Going to like a House of Mirrors. They could have done a House of Mirrors.
You gotta save something for number 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8.
We gotta save that for Most Dangerous Game Orlando.
Yeah, Most Dangerous Game Jackson, New Jersey, or something. But yeah, you're
That'll be
right.
season
One of these
50,
in Disney
Nando.
World would be incredible.
They can shoot it like that one horrible movie that did gorilla
Yes.
shooting at Disney World.
Escape from Tomorrowland or whatever, is that what it's called? Something like that.
Escape from Tomorrow, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So we have a huge wheel. I'm going to spin the wheel. Landed on one of DJ's. It's a great place to start. The New York Church Underground Boxing Commission. Let's talk about Victor Snyder.
So there is something in like this and also Daredevil where it's like for whatever reason churches are the breeding ground for like Fight Club
and
like,
Father Stu.
And Father Stu. Does Father Stu box? I don't know. Seems like a thing he might
He's
do.
either like a criminal boxer who becomes a priest or a priest who becomes a criminal boxer. I forget which way it goes.
Well, either way. So we're here in like I forget what the church is, but it's like St. Matthew's Church, whatever. And there's like two people, and they're in a boxing ring, MMA fighting, because that's how this stuff works. And our guy Victory Swears is getting the shit kicked out of him, and like his sister, daughter, whatever, is gonna throw in the towel. And it's like, why is this a narrative that for whatever reason the New York churches have like underground sanctioned fighting? Because like there's a ref in there, and they talk about gambling lines, and even the ref is like, hey, little missy, your brother keeps doing this, I'm gonna get a bond from the boxing commission, you better wait. I'm like, who is this sanctioned by? Why is this legal? And
Jesus
in a church?
Christ.
Yeah.
The original boxer, Jesus Christ, boxed out all those guys in the money changing pits or whatever. Has, they've taken to his word and decided to start a big boxing ring.
It like blows my mind that this is a narrative or a thing or a whatever you want to call it. And again, it's only like a small sample size of 2, this and Daredevil, but I saw that and I'm like, why is this a thing?
I mean, then we know the New York churches also will take in a baby dinosaur girl from another dimension. So is this even more or less preposterous than that? I would say on the level. Do you think all the churches do this, or there's one church that you go to and that's the one?
I don't know. There's the Hell's Kitchen one and there's the Bronx one. Maybe like every borough has one, or like every like
sense.
part of the city. But it's like it also later. So like a premise is that. So we'll talk about it. But Victor has to come up with money, and he goes to the guy. It's like, oh, throw a fight. Bet on me for a fight, and I'll throw it. Then you can win all the money. So you go down to AC or Philly and just kind of put a bet on me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What casino or what sportsbook or whatever is like, all right, I got the lines for the undercard of the St. Matthew's New York MMA unsanctioned. Like, what the fuck?
Now, in fairness, the guy he's proposing that to does point out that it is preposterous, but not because no one could possibly be betting on this, but because he couldn't bet that amount of money on it.
But he could bet an amount of money, like, because he said, if I bet the money on you, they'd be suspicious. And I'm like, what they? Like, the betting for this is, it's got to be, like, a guy, like, just collecting money the thing, and it's like, I got $2 here, $2 here, hey, like, what do you got? Swearo, 2-to-1 odds.
Some uncut gems shit.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yes.
You got to go to Mike Francesa and place your bet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think DraftKings would get involved in this eventually. They're running out of sports. They'd have to do something where
they could get a cut.
Yeah, they could get it just a little bit. Doesn't have to be that much, but yeah.
Oh my god. So I found it very silly. It's a hell of an opening to the movie where our hero is just getting the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give up, and his sister throws in the towel, and do you guys remember what he says to his sister when she throws in the towel?
Something about,
no,
don't do it.
It's like, no, you never throw in the towel, you never give up, ever. You never give up.
I don't think
give up.
I don't think that's how boxing works. I think
well, that's how this guy operates.
I think throwing in the towel is a thing that exists for a reason.
Only if you're a coward and a quitter and one of the hustle grind set like Victor Suero.
That's true. He is the ultimate Sigma male. As we see, he spurns all female attention he gets in this movie.
That's right.
He's all about that grind.
I love that. Yeah, you're right.
But not grinding. It's a different kind of grind that he's about. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, speaking of that, I spun the wheel again, landed on one of Diggins' sister, daughter, wife. Let's talk about her. What's that character's name?
Josie.
Josephine.
Yeah, Josephine.
Yeah. So the movie makes a point of being like, it's his sister, but he's basically her father. Because Christoph Waltz, more than once, is like, he's more like a he's more like father than brother. I don't know what that was. That wasn't Christoph Waltz.
Not at all.
You'll get better as the podcast goes on.
Yeah, it's gonna just do a Dodge Tines. That could be your way to get there. Dodge Tines.
More like a father than a brother. No, that wasn't it either. I'm gonna stop.
He's both a father and a brother too. No, mine's not very good either. We'll get there.
All right, my turn. He's more like a father than a brother to her.
No,
we're all off.
This isn't a good line for it. I think it's just not a good line.
It's not. Yeah.
But yeah, so he says that more than once, which already is like drawing attention to how vaguely written this character is. Mm-hmm. And then we see them interact. And I'm like, am I crazy or is there some like romantic tension here? This feels weird.
No, you're not crazy.
That? Really?
100% that's happening.
What?
Not in every scene, but in like the friggin' lighthouse scene where they're dancing together. I was like, what is this?
100%. I mean, we get this shit in fucking Mortal Kombat too, where like you have the little daughter and the remember this, like Louis Tan's character is this, where it's like he's the dad, but it's really his sister, but she seems to be about the same age as him. And it's really confusing. And it's like, yeah, if you just showed me that character without saying any of this in this first scene where she's thrown in the towel, I would expect she's his girlfriend or something.
That's so weird.
I don't know who this actor
get that
is,
at
but
all.
I don't know how old she is. I would guess guessing as in his maybe 30s.
The thing is, like, she is clearly younger than him, but also this is a movie. So a man can be reasonably paired with a woman of pretty much any age, no matter how old he is or how young she is.
Yeah, and he plays kind of young in Umbrella Academy, not like super young, but like young enough that I could see him swinging 30, and I could see her swinging 26, 27. But it's definitely not clear how old he or she are.
I think she's supposed to be like a teenager, but like it doesn't. It feels like whoever wrote this movie was just like wrote generic female character in man's life and just like stuck a note like, we'll figure out who this is later. But then they never actually changed any of the dialogue he wrote where it could be anybody who matters to him in his life. So she's just saying incredibly generic, I am a woman who cares about you lines the whole time.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's right. I'm trying to find out how old she is because it's not on her IMDb page. She is 33, David Castaneda. And yeah, I guess this was filmed a year ago. But yeah, I don't know. It is really weird. It's like Mario and Luigi again, except they're also maybe banging. Who knows?
The romantic tension between Mario and Luigi.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there was a little bit of... He was helping his brother get some romance. So, Mario was involved in a way. But yeah. Okay, I think I found it. I think, according to this, she's 21. So yeah, she's a good 10 years younger than him. But yeah, it never would have...
No, I think she is currently...
Or actually...
So that was 7 years ago. She's 22.
Oh, okay. So yeah, close enough. Yeah, I think... I spun the wheel again. She's not my favorite character in the movie, but she's up there. Because this landed on one of mine. Hey, maybe be nicer to the Russian mafia. So, like, her introduction in this movie, besides the boxing thing, but, like, the first scene, because, like, yeah, they play her, like, girlfriend, maybe sister, but then her next scene is daughter when she is getting, like, chewed out by the mafia for losing $500,000 or something like that on the subway because she put it down to, like, check her phone or something.
Yep, and two guys just ran off.
It's like, yeah, man. She's not good at this. She lasted this long, but yeah.
Well, we'll find out later, Nando.
Yeah, that's true. She's sitting there, arms crossed, like, ugh, bro, they're mad because they lost some of their money on the train. And he has to be like, oh, man, I'm sorry about that. Like, no apology from her, no nothing. It's like she's trying to get her brother killed.
Well, and to make a point, the mafia guy just ices one of his guys. Just shoots him.
Yeah.
Guy who might as well have been a mannequin for as much as he's in the scene until that point.
When he shot him, I'm like, whoa, is this like someone important? I'm like, who is
I was like, did he just shoot a random guy who was like in this bar? Who is this guy? Why was he just standing there T-posing?
On the IMDb page, his name is Red Haired Man. So, I think that says it all.
It's not one of my best guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess we should say this now. I guess like spoiler alert for the Most Dangerous Game New York. But as it turns out, this whole thing was staged.
This whole thing was double staged.
Yeah.
For no particular reason.
That part is particularly confusing because we learn that the Russian mafia, I think they say for the last 6 months, has been, like, she has been working for them, running money or whatever else she's been doing. And just now, the money was stolen, and at that point, but not exactly at that time, Sellers is doing his presentation, selling Victor Suero to the other hunters, and at the end of the presentation, he's like, all I have to do is convince Victor you haven't checked with him yet, dude.
Yeah.
Why? You have him, or don't you? Like, at that point, I was legitimately like, maybe this is a coincidence. Because you figure this step comes second. But
yeah, no, this is
this
is months after he makes that pitch.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's
After a couple months later.
Yeah, after that scene, there's like a little thing on the next scene that says months later.
But wait a second, really?
It was to set up the mafia ploy. Yeah, it had to be a couple months because they had to set up the mafia ploy.
Oh, so they did the whole mafia thing then?
Yeah, after they knew that people would be in. They didn't start anything until then.
Yep.
Insane.
Right? Because it's such a gambit, right? So he has to do the pitch. They say yes. He's like, all right, now we set up the mafia thing. Fake mafia. Hire sister, daughter, wife, whatever. Then, have the whole stage thing where... So the guy that... I don't know why you would use this actor again, but, like, the guy who the mafia man shoots and kills, he didn't really shoot and kill him. It was all an act, because later we see red-haired man is a fucking chauffeur, and Victor Suero sees that. And he's like, whoa, something's up here.
Yeah, he seems like he would be a bad guy for that in general, just because he's got red hair.
Right?
Spot him in a crowd.
Put on a wig or whatever. It's like, and it's weird because it doesn't really lead to anything. He's like, something's off here. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't change like how you operate. Like, I guess it changes the dynamic with him knowing his sister's involvement. I
don't know. It's just like last movie, TV show, whatever, where it's like, yeah, eventually Dodge Tynes finds out that the whole thing was a setup and he doesn't really have cancer or whatever.
Right.
But that's never important. And at the end of the movie, Christoph Waltz is just like, all right, here's all your money. Goodbye forever. And yeah, I get that's what happens. Christoph Waltz just leaves, and no one who was involved in setting this up faces any repercussions whatsoever. And that's
it's pretty weird.
That's what happens in this one too. Like,
because there was a point where my thought here was like, I think Victor is going to tell another character that he's hanging out with for an extended period of time about this, and that guy might be mad, or like, you're like, oh wait, that's what's happening here, and then that's like something. Then we got some sort of conflict or whatever, but that isn't what happens. Instead, I guess that gives Victor a little extra license to break some rules. He's like, fuck it, they're not playing by the rules. I'm going to cheat too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is pretty confusing. Speaking of that, DJ, spend the middle again, landed on one of yours, hype man Christoph Waltz.
Oh, hype man Christoph Waltz. I love hype man Christoph Waltz. So,
yeah, me too.
Now, remind me, is this kind of scene in the first movie where Christoph Waltz has to pitch Dodge Tynes to the presidents who we don't know who they are?
No, I don't believe so. I think we start this... I think we follow Dodge Tynes for most of the first bit of the movie, and then at the end, like the end of the first episode or whatever, is him going to Christoph Waltz being like, I want to play your game. We don't see any of this.
So this is a fun part where we get to see a little more background into the Most Dangerous Game, which I did not mind. I like seeing our boys work, but so Christoph Waltz is like, "Hunters, I have an amazing opportunity for you. I have a man here, Victor Victory Suero, born in the Bronx," and he like goes through this like his whole like Victor Suero's entire Wikipedia page, right?
Yeah,
and he's like, "This man could have given up on his dream of boxing, but he did not give up, and now for such a morsel such as Victor Victory Suero, I will start the bidding at $75 million. And like everyone bites and he goes up. And so for a morsel such as this, I think we could safely go as high as $150 million. Oh, gentlemen, I see that you're very intrepid. Can I have $200 million? It's so good. It's so like wrestling manager. Just Christoph Waltz just like talking this guy up. Like I was pumped for Victor Suero. I'm like, yeah, this guy's the fucking man. Let's go. He's going to be the best prey ever. It's a scene I really appreciated. It's also a scene where it's like, it makes sense why Christoph Waltz is in these movies, because like, this is what he can deliver you. Especially if he's going to like wind up being the big boss or like whatever the fuck is going to happen.
Yeah,
I think this scene is pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we could have cut almost everything in the first episode and just had that.
Right?
I've been like, yeah, I like Victor Suero. I'm on his side, and I hope he survives the hunt. Good enough.
Yeah.
Because it's all stuff we already know. We watched this. We watched everybody tell this to him and stuff.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do appreciate it. I like how much people harp on the fact that his parents died in a fire, but he saved his sister. As if that makes him some sort of superhuman man. Like... Yeah, he didn't, I guess, he continued to live after that moment, but I'm pretty sure anybody who survived that fire also probably, not everybody, but like most people, that doesn't mean they're going to be good at hunter stuff. It's almost
that's what I can never like tell with this. It's like, is Christoph Waltz, like, he's obviously overselling to get the bid super high. He does a great job of it. But I'm like, does he also kind of want to get someone where he knows that person will lose? Because at some point, like, that might be important to the proceedings.
It's hard because I think he doesn't, like, I believe him when he's like, I think you've got a shot, Victor. Like, he talks to him before and he's like, you're going to be so fantastic at the hunt. And I'm like, yeah, I think he will. And even with the hunters being a bunch of freaks and stuff and some of them being slightly better at this than others, like, yeah, I still think, I think he has to strike a delicate balance of someone who could plausibly win, but they won't run away with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought he was like lying to Victor. It's like, I think you can win, Victor. I have the utmost confidence in you. I'm like, oh, he's just trying to hype him up so like he stands a chance.
I think he was doing that, but he does deliberately look for people who could win theoretically. Otherwise, what's the point?
Right, and
that's fair.
This happens in both of the movies. There's a bit where someone in the first minute or two of the hunt gets Victor, or the hunt, the prey, like corners him, and then he's like, oh no, it's going to all be over before it even starts. Like, that's a bummer for him. So, like,
are you Banshees of Inisherin? Is that
yeah?
Are you Brendan? It's going to be over before it started. Oh, what a shame! What a shame!
Over.
The Most Dangerous Game is going to end so soon.
He calls up and he's like, Christoph Waltz, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Your hunts, all the hunt chats we have are so boring. I want to.
Speaking of people that would let themselves die in a fire,
I want to.
That's not off the table for one guy specifically. But then we learned that the donkey was secretly part of it or something. Like, then that's the
also
would like pull a car around, and it was he's fine.
Well, our version of that is that Jimmy Kimmel just brought a random fucking donkey on stage that wasn't Jenny. I've never been so mad.
I know.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
There really is just a random donkey.
It's gotta be.
There is
There's
a real Jenny the donkey, and if it was her, that would have been incredible. But the fact that
he get a flyer from Ireland,
yes, and he lied to me, and I'll never forgive him.
I agree.
Probably would have been bad for Jenny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Jenny would have hated it.
No, it would have been a very bad thing to do for Jenny, almost certainly.
What about that donkey from the other movie? Is that one better at this? The one from EO? I haven't seen it.
I haven't watched EO yet. It's on the Criterion channel now. I've been meaning to.
Oh, nice. Is this?
On the
put this on the Criterion channel yet?
Well, they've been trying, but Roku won't give up the rights.
Smart, yeah. I do want to, let's spin the wheel again. I want to touch on one thing from this speech, or one thing we learn about the hunt that is mentioned. This may be when Sellers is selling this to Suero. He said he's talking about the hunt. Do you guys remember? I don't know if this stuck out to you guys. Do you remember any specific information we get about the history of the hunt?
Oh,
It's been going for 2,000 years?
Yeah. Did Jesus start it? Was he the first huntee and Pontius Pilate was the first guy? I give you 30 pieces of silver, Judas. Run! Run now. A piece of silver will be slipped under your door every hour till the cock crows 3 times.
Now, am I crazy or did we not know this last movie?
I
Because
don't
I wasn't
remember this
surprised by that. I
information.
was like, yeah, I think we knew that, but I could just be like putting in information. They're like, yeah, he totally told us that the fucking Romans were doing this.
I
The
did.
2,000 years line specifically. I don't know if we had that number.
I did
okay.
check. They did say it's like a 2,000-year-old tradition in the first movie.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's
Which,
insane.
of course, it is.
I guess this must be like the hidden 5th book of the New Testament. Is that you
Yeah.
have to do a most dangerous game?
That is the true secret to eternal life. You do a most dangerous game, you're immortalized forever.
Well, it's part of the secret Bible that's for rich people. Like,
Oh, yeah.
the Bible that we know is the Bible for poor people, and it's just full of lies
Right.
to make us feel better.
Yeah.
The
Right.
real Bible is the secret one for rich people, and that one says that you have to do most dangerous games.
Yeah, it's so hardcore.
Do you guys think Jesus would be good at a most dangerous game as a runner?
I mean, he could run out onto the open ocean, and no one could follow him.
That's true, no one could get
Well,
him.
but then that would be outside of that would be a violation. And then the game would be over. He would be hunted for
Then he would be
life.
hunted forever. I mean,
That's
it's kind of how it ended anyway.
Yeah,
so.
that's probably what did happen, actually.
I guess the question is, if he comes back to life 3 days after the hunt ends, do they take back the prize money? Like, what's the protocol here?
Oh, I don't know. That actually, now that I think about it, Jesus probably wouldn't be a hunter. He'd be part of the thing we use to get Paul into the hunt or something like that. And then Paul would see
he's
Jesus
the
at the market
yeah.
as he's running away and be like, wait a second. I watched them crucify him, and that's why I did this. This is some chicanery is going on here. Yeah, I don't know, but he's definitely up there. I think he'd be a pretty solid hunter.
How do you think the hunts were going in, like, I don't know, what would have been a weird time? Like in like the Renaissance in like the 15th century, was it all just like Assassin's Creed?
Absolutely.
Was that all the hunting?
Yeah, just running around. I mean,
I'm curious
Yeah.
what the hunts were like during the collapse of the Roman Empire, when
Ooh, that's a good one.
like when basically all governmental infrastructure was breaking down on a fundamental level. Like, but this secret conspiracy of hunting was still happening, I guess.
I mean,
yeah, right?
the question is, what's the hunt like today? And I think that's pretty similar, if you ask me. Cheeto and Chief, much
the
like,
Deputy in Chief, you're right.
yeah. I just feel like, yeah, I wonder. I feel like the most plausible time, because it seems like, honestly, I think Renaissance would be quite fun. I think you've got architecture, you've got things like that. I think it's like the Dark Ages is where the hunt is like, what are we even doing? Like,
Yeah.
running around town
We
in a
st-
circle?
It's like the 3 hours in, like, oh, guys, dead of plague.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what to tell you. Also, like, that was a time of much more rigid, like, the idea of paying someone money to do something like
Yeah.
this, like, doesn't make a ton of sense for a lot of human history. Mm-hmm. Because, like,
Well,
if you're a
they probably just made him do it.
if you're a serf with a bunch of money, you're still a serf.
That's right.
Well, they probably just made him do it, right? Like, you're in the hunt now.
I guess.
Probably.
Go run. And they didn't have a cell phone to, like, ping the location, so if you disappeared into the woods, that might be it.
You had a bag of 24 pigeons, and you had to release a pigeon every hour or something. My question is, like, what were the fancy weapons? Like, oh, I have this board with a spike on it, and I bring this with me to every hunt. Like,
Dogs? They probably had
they
dogs. 'cause,
definitely
you
had.
know,
Well, I mean, that wouldn't be allowed because this was the first guy who tried it. I think.
Oh, that's true.
Well,
Yeah, that's-
unless they like don't follow the Roberts rules or whatever, and you know they don't have meticulous documentation of all bylaws over the past 2,000 years.
That's true. Yeah, were all the bylaws like in a part of Rome that was burnt to the ground or something like that. And Pompeii was where we used to store them until a certain time. I wonder. Yeah, I feel like we at least have one founding father that would have done a hunt.
Oh,
Jefferson,
Abraham
maybe.
most definitely.
well,
Yeah, some of them were pretty
Abraham
rich.
is not a founding father.
Yeah, multiple problems with what you just said.
Oh my God! Was Burr in Hamilton? Was that actually a hunt?
Maybe.
Is that what that was?
That's probably what happened.
That's what every duel was. It's like, I duel you. So I gotta finish a hunt.
Oh, Andrew Jackson would definitely have done a hunt.
Oh my God, yeah, he would definitely. That's why they kept fighting that wars, because there was somebody down there in Lake Louisiana that he was hunting, and he needed an excuse to just keep going. He's like, let's just keep this up. I mean, he's like, I feel like the Civil War would have been a tricky hunt at location or like time, because you'd probably want to set it in somewhere rather neutral, unless it was just like something that we did in the South or something.
Right.
Well, also, like, we're assuming that this was a European phenomenon that moved to America. Did it originally start as a Native American phenomenon? Like, who started it?
Oh, that's a good point.
So my only thing here is if we're going with it, if the Tyr Foundation is like going off of a Norse god and it's been named that for at least a little bit, it's some sort of European thing.
I mean, it's spelt different. It's not spelt the same tier, but yeah, sure.
I feel like Christoph Waltz, being whatever he is, Austrians, probably means it came from there. Or at least, like, I feel like this feels like a European thing. Where's the book from? Mm-hmm. The Dangerous Game. I feel like that's maybe. Do you think people?
I think that's British. I think. Let me double check.
Yeah. Does that exist in universe? If anybody told them that, would
no
you be like, "Oh, like that book?" Yeah, that's what we're doing. I've read the book. It's a short story. It's like 3 pages long or something. Would they be like?
It's not that long. I've read it.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it could be because like they don't call it the most dangerous game, and you're right. Like the idea of it's actually American.
Nice.
The idea of just like we're hunting people for sport is not like so wild and bizarre that only one specific mind could have ever thought of it.
Yeah. Do you think that's why we started the colonies? Because they like wanted to do most dangerous game. Yeah, and then they were like, no, you can't do that. And we're like, fine, we're gonna get on some boats. We're gonna find a lit place where we can do so many hunts it's not even funny. Do like most dangerous game, Plymouth Rock and stuff immediately.
I thought it was like a new map thing where it's like, oh, we already know all of the maps for like our dangerous games. We need new maps to make it more interesting. Let's go colonize so we get new maps.
Very brave of them then to in 2023 do New York City.
Yeah.
Never been touched before. Brand new city you've never heard of. New York City. Maybe in this universe it's actually like it is Cleveland or something. But
yeah, it's not a big deal. It's like
yeah. Speaking of that, I spun the wheel again. DJ's landed on one of yours, presenting the presidents you've never heard of.
So yeah, it's so the way the bidding goes, and this is like right after the Christoph Waltz hype scene, is like so all of the assassins have presidential code names. U.S. presidents responsible for killing those weaker than them in power and money and status. Oh, how brave, movie! How brave!
I mean, literally the only one that doesn't work is Carter from last movie. All the rest of them, I'm like, Kennedy would do a hunt if he wanted to.
He may have.
Convenient.
Do we have proof that he didn't?
Exactly.
And it's funny because like the team at the end, I'm like, I don't know who any of these fucking people are. I'm like, Pierce, maybe. There's a Garfield in there. I'm like, let's get the big boys. Unless they're saving that for Most Dangerous Game 10. We got them all. We got Washington, Lincoln, Adams, like Madison. Like, let's go. Jefferson. Get all the big ones up in there.
Which presidents did we have in this besides the ones you just named?
So we had Taft.
Was Ford in this one?
Ford. Yeah, we had Ford.
There's Taft, Ford, Monroe, Tyler, and...
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was the other one? Was it Pierce? Did Pierce make it to the end?
I think it was Pierce. I think that was the lady.
No. Well, maybe. There's a guy named Pierce in these movies, but he's a different guy. Like, this is a character's name. But I'm looking at it because the IMDb for this is so sparse that I can't... There's no good list of this. And also, there's just no information. This is a secret movie. I don't know. But, last movie, it was just the 5 most recent presidents besides Obama and Bush, I think.
Not quite. It was Nixon, Reagan, Carter, LBJ.
Right. Ford? No, couldn't have been.
Nixon, Carter, Reagan, LBJ, and I'm looking it up now.
Did you say Reagan?
I did say Reagan, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because we
Kennedy.
We had Kennedy, right? Of course.
Nixon, Reagan, Carter,
on
Kennedy,
the
and LBJ.
boat.
So yeah, that skips the Bushes, Clinton, Ford. It's not quite most recent.
No, yeah, but it was a bunch of them. Like
It was a bunch of
it was all.
It's a bunch of ones from the second half of the 20th century.
That's right. Yeah. So I appreciate that. This one we just got randos. And yeah, I imagine. Well, I guess if because they keep dying. So if like.
Right.
Not to spoil
Taft,
anything, but
Taft was less of Monroe, Tyler, Taft, Ford, and God damn it, now I can't remember the other one.
Monroe, Tyler,
Pierce?
Taft, Ford.
No, Pierce didn't make it, I think. So there was one more.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, so I know they die, but they probably just get new ones, right?
Yeah,
Like
I think
pseudonyms.
I think a new guy gets to take a spot because I imagine there's only 40 whatever, guys.
What do you
This
think?
must be really embarrassing for Trump when he can't afford to do the most dangerous game and have the name Trump, because they must offer it to him, and he's like,
Yeah, that's fair.
"Yeah, you know, I'm probably not gonna be able to do the most dangerous game."
Well,
this year.
listen,
It's
he
really
would
tight."
obviously do a proxy. He's not going to do physical labor
Oh,
himself.
No,
yeah.
I just mean he can't afford the $250 million.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. He'd make Eric do it or something, or Jared. That's who would do it, or like Rudy, one of his goons, or Ben Shapiro, a strong man who has a board, piece of wood in a bag. That would be his weapon. His weapon would be facts and logic. They need to put all those.
Yeah, he
fucking dorks in
destroys
there.
people with those.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I like that. I imagine a new guy. I imagine there's a waiting list of people to get on Most Dangerous Game, and when one of the presidents dies, then they call the next guy and like, hey, do you want to be Ford now? I'm not sure. But yeah, I spun the wheel again, you guys. Landed on one of mine. This one just says, "Go Diego, go." It's a show, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. It's a
Yeah,
spin-off
this guy's name
of
is-
Dora the Explorer.
That's what I thought. Yeah, this guy's name is Diego in Umbrella Academy, and here he is running. I like that about him. Do you think is he good at this?
At what?
Like
Most dangerous gaming. Yeah. Like, is Victor Suero a good? Like, I can't decide.
I'm going to say no.
I'm gonna say no. Also, for the spirit of like how you should do a Most Dangerous Game, I don't think he's very good.
Yeah, that's fair.
He gets himself trapped in dead ends multiple times.
Yes.
He jumps off a moving subway, which is an insane thing to do.
Insane.
And
It's something that they always get caught in. Like, none of these people seem to get it. Like, it seems like Sellers is looking for people that are fast and not that bright.
Yes.
Which, yeah.
And the smartest thing he does, which is go to a part of the inbounds that no human in their right frame of mind would ever want to go to,
Yeah.
is pretty much an accident. He just stumbles onto a train that happens to be going to Montauk, and he's like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's not. He's a good scrapper, but he's not all that clever. Although he's good at the fighting part, and like he is able to come up with some decent ways to get guys. But yeah, he's not good at the running part. It would be no fun to find him, but they're all able to do it. I do think New York is should be a particularly easy place to hide.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Easier than Detroit.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, yeah, this guy, like, we haven't told people this, I guess, if you haven't seen the last one. We mentioned a little bit. Every hour, you have a cell phone that will ping your location for, was it like a minute or something? And then all the hunters can go find you. They all get your location. But that's the only indication they have of where you are.
Yep.
And it gives them your, like, coordinates. But, like, at one point, he is in the subway. And it's like, that makes this so hard. Or could. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you could walk through the subway. I mean, you couldn't because they don't let you. But, like, they would never know. Is he in a building? Is he on the street? Is he in the subway? They don't have any information.
Or you could like be on a subway when it goes off, going in one direction.
Yes.
Get off at the next station. Get on a train going in a completely different direction. It's like it's very easy to just suddenly be going somewhere else very fast.
However, to be fair to Victor, he does that once and then a guy is on the train.
Yeah, but that's because of magic. That guy's
Yeah,
there
exactly.
because of
So
magic.
he probably did think this through for a little bit, and then that immediately happened. He's like, well, I guess this will never work then. I guess I just have to run in straight lines and stuff and try to kill them all. I do think that's the alternative, though. And I remember the other guy does this in the other movie, is he, like, runs into, like, you know, the projects, finds some, he doesn't do this on purpose, but he's like, hey, people are going to kill me. I'll give you guys a lot of money if you protect me from them. All you have to do is kill these 5 weirdos. It's not,
Who are very killable.
yeah,
by
that's
the
not
way.
that hard.
the other thing, too, is, like, he picks the most remote parts of New York to go to. It's like, all right, where can I go? I can go to an abandoned school. I can go to, like, an abandoned part of a subway station. They're going to take us to...
Big empty house thingy in the woods, Staten Island.
Water treatment plant.
He picks...
Lighthouse. Like,
he picks only the most easily filmed locations in New York.
Yeah. Even like the baseball game, and he does it when there's nobody there. Like, that would be a great place to hide during a baseball game. But
it is a great place to hide until he, like, is like, oh no, a bottle that rolled exactly to fucking Ford's counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like...
Love that.
Section 114, row 10, I have you. And he just, like, stands up, like, oh shit, he got me.
Yeah.
Like...
I do have to say, though, that a point against him being a good huntee is Taft absolutely would have killed him if not for this scene was very unclear and I couldn't tell, either the door spontaneously flew backwards or he is the world's strongest man.
Wait, Taft is the Boston one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He's pretty strong.
But... Is he strong enough to wrap a chain around the handle of a steel door and then, using only that chain from a distance with a fire raging around him, pull it off its hinges so hard it flies backwards? Like, what? What happened
did he
there?
Take the hinges off the door at one point?
He was working on that. He never finished.
Oh, okay.
He's a super person. Also, one quick thing about that scene, I love how after he does fling the door open, we get you're losing oxygen in there, bucko. You sure you're gonna come out? And it's like, wait, the door's open. Is he losing oxygen?
Oh, well, I can't remember.
Well, he'd be
inhaling
smoke. It wouldn't be good for him.
Yeah, I think he would be losing oxygen. I think he would
fair
be.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Generally, it's bad to be around a fire.
Yeah, like...
Is it? Oh, shit. That's why he was so scared. And why the Boston guy was like, hey, you got a big fire around you, bud. You better come out of here.
Or at least
I'll hit your...
that's what the woke media would have you believe about your beloved freedom-having gas stoves.
Oh, right.
This is why, in that moment... For a second, I'm like, ooh, this guy knows fire's his weakness. And then I'm like, wait a second. Fire's the one thing that can't kill him. He might be fireproof.
He's made
we should have used something else. Yeah. I do also think, like, the hunters aren't able to have things on them, right? Like, they're not able to, like... Or the hunties, the prey, aren't able to, like, bring a gun to hunt.
No.
But they could find a gun and use it, right?
No, I think guns aren't allowed.
He can't use
like,
guns.
Period.
He can take weapons, though. For example, when he kills Monroe and then that guy has, like, a bunch of, like, batons that you use for melee combat, as well as a functioning laser beam.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could just take...
Hey, they're rich. They're rich.
Yeah. Because it's not like he can't even pick something up for smacks or something, because he does that at other times. He'll, like, use, the environment or a pipe to hit you. So, yeah, one main thing about hunting, if you ever get in this situation, just hide some stuff pretty close to where you're going to start. Hide a big bat or something. And then, you've at least got a bat. But, yeah, they're just not allowed to do any of that stuff.
The other way to do it would be to set up a home alone.
Oh, yeah, that would be... I mean, that is, I'd say, the ideal way to do it, and Tynes almost did that in his movie. I remember he, like, tried to go to his bar and hide there, and it's like, yeah, just do that. Just be able to close a door for 12 or 24 hours with some food in there, and then you're fine. But I guess, hypothetically, you would have to get there, where people would know to find...
Right,
yeah, and some paint cans, yeah. By the way, I spun the wheel again. It did land on one of mine. This is kind of related to that. This is a note I wrote down. Why do you have 12? So when Monroe does reveal that he was, in fact, the panhandler and not the man that had a taser or whatever, or a knife.
Box cutter.
Box cutter.
This, like, office worker carries a box cutter for when poor people are panhandling?
He's scared. This city does that to you, apparently.
City, yeah. The greatest city on earth, yeah.
Listen, if he was a real New Yorker, the only emotion he would be feeling upon seeing a guy trying to entertain you on the subway for money is annoyance.
Yeah. And when that happened, I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. because, like, they're going to do fucking Showtime, and that guy on the other side of the subway is trying to kill him, but he has to avoid the dumb breakdancing and whatever.
I like how when the businessman with the box cutter, like, Victor goes, this guy's got a box cutter, and everyone's like, oh, these people. The one guy goes, yo, get off the train, bitch.
Yep.
It's like fucking clowns, this guy.
Although I do like that to avoid being called woke, they made sure the guy with the box cutter was also black.
Yep.
So it's like, it's not a racist thing, you guys. He's also black.
That's right. Now, when that guy, the guy that's Monroe, the actual hunter, he's got his goofy outfit on. We only recognize that he is a hunter because he has nice sneakers. And then he follows Victor into the next car of the train and then opens his jacket to reveal what I thought immediately was dynamite. And I was like, this is actually a pretty good plan if you just want to kill somebody. But then it turned out it's a bunch of little batons. And my thought was, why do you have 12? And he takes the first one out, and it's a fighting baton, like we said, like one of the ones you would use, like a cop or something would use. And he smashes it and hits like a window, and it gets stuck in there. And he like really wrestles with it, like gotta get it out. And this is when I was like, you have 12. Isn't this why you brought so many? So you could just let that one go and whip out another one? But then we find out there's all kinds of shit. It's like Batman's utility belt, and like there's lasers. One of them was probably like a snack for later. One is probably a knife. It's great.
I'm so mad that we only saw 2 of them.
Yes.
Like, if you have this guy, show all of the gadgets. Like, oh, those are nunchucks.
Yep.
This one's
poison or something.
Yeah. Well, maybe one's like a flare that you just shoot up to, or shoot at the guy. I don't know.
Well, DJ, there's a certain quality that some of the hunters possess that makes them the ones who die immediately as soon as we meet them.
This is true.
I can't quite put my finger on it. It's like, I noticed there was something similar about them, but it's not coming to me. They both pretended to be someone else first. That was it.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
They did gimmicks. They did, yeah.
They need all the gimmicks.
And now, to be fair, the other guy, the dog guy, also tried this, and it just didn't work.
Yes.
He gave up.
So can we briefly go over all of the hunter's
Yes,
tools?
yes.
Okay, great. So Ford has a chain whip from like Bayonetta or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
No, he has Ivy's weapon from Soul Calibur.
oh, that's what it is.
I did love that. Because when Christoph Waltz asks the cleaner guy, like, does he still have a whip or something?
He says, did he get a new whip this time or something?
Yeah, I was like, what, does he have like a cool car or something? And it's an actual fucking steel, it's the whip from RRR that the governor's wife throws down to be like, use this instead.
Yeah. Horrible for this. Maybe the worst weapon anyone brings.
In fact, it actually actively works against him.
Yeah. Unless you get a really good first whip in, very vulnerable to being stuck on stuff or just caught by the guy and then under his foot and then he's got it.
It also does not appear to have a handle. How does he hold it?
That's a good question. Very carefully. He has, well, like, you know how Cook's, like, in the menu's got the asbestos hand? He has those Wall Street, like, iron hands.
Oh, yeah, because working on Wall Street just makes him, like, so fucking...
Well,
it's like, oh, my grit. I have so much grit.
He's just done so much coke that most of the nerves in his body are dead.
Yeah, he's great, because, he's the first one we meet. He, like, runs after him immediately, chases him into the Shea Stadium or whatever it's called now. And like,
City Field, baby.
City Field, yeah. And he goes, like... does the Meet the Met song, very fun. And then, his bit is he's a bank trader or like a stock trader who's just become bored with life and decided to do this instead for fun.
Yep.
Love it. He almost gets hanged by himself, but then doesn't. Cool. Not hanged by himself, I guess, but hung by his own weapon.
Right.
Well,
this is the bit with the pedophile that's pretty fun.
Yeah. It's like there's an elastic rope tie or something that is on the field or like in the stadium somewhere, and so it gets wrapped up in his whip, and then Victor throws the rope part around his neck and hauls him up.
Yeah. And the pedophile, by the way, in case you guys didn't see, he was in the first one. He really does look like he got a costume of Stanley Tucci from The Lovely Bones and has decided to wear that because it makes him inconspicuous for some reason. I kind of had hoped he would have a different outfit wherever he went. Like his New York outfit would look make him look like a tourist with like a baseball cap on and a big map, but he's still doing the pedophile thing. It's pretty impressive what he's able to do. Because, like, sure, he has all of the information about where Victor is, but it's pretty tough to follow Victor, considering he's jumping off trains and stuff. They just keep track of him, but he's pretty good at this. He's a pro.
Especially if he's taking a car. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get around Manhattan in a car?
Exactly. Are the Ubers? Like, does he Uber and then kill that guy and then keep his car and then drop it somewhere and then Uber again, kill another guy? Because, yeah, this guy is like... He's the guy that burns the body afterwards or disposes of it or whatever. But he cannot interfere, much like the Watcher. He cannot even save the guys that are hanged themselves. This will change, but that is originally how he sells it. Then you get Monroe. Monroe pretends to be a panhandler. He has a costume prepared, which I love. He was somehow on the same train that Victor gets on, which would be plausible if Victor didn't also run through through City Field and stuff and then get on the train.
Yeah, like, there's no way it's the first 7 that showed up.
Yes, absolutely not.
Also,
then,
the 7 in Queens is an above ground station subway. It only gets underground in Manhattan.
Well, is that where he gets left off? Because I do think he's in Manhattan after that.
Oh, yeah, he definitely gets off at Manhattan.
You're saying he gets on underground, too. Yeah, you're right.
And also, considering that Monroe is right there, how fast he gets off after he sees Monroe, and how far into Queens City Field is, there's no way.
Absolutely not. But yeah, Monroe and him get in a big fight. Monroe gets electrocuted because of the third rail, which, spun the wheel again, is the first thing they teach you in grade school.
Yeah, this is
pretty good. This
is Victor's first attempt at a one-liner, and it is maybe one of the worst ones I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. It's up there with what happens to a toad that gets struck by lightning in the terms of, like, what? Sorry, what? What's your point?
Yeah. And also effect.
Yeah, also electrocution.
Yep.
So when he extends the stun baton so it touches the third rail when they're fighting on the subway tracks, which electrocutes Monroe and kills him. Because the third rail is electrified and you shouldn't touch it. That is a thing. But he gets up and says to his corpse, on which he is leaving behind all the cool weapons that he could easily take and conceal.
Yep.
That's the first thing they teach you in grade school. Don't touch the third rail.
Oh my God.
Admittedly, I did not go to grade school in a city. I went in a suburb where we don't have subways or anything. But I think they teach you a few other things before that.
Well, maybe in his year, like the first day of school, some kid touched the third rail, and then I had a big presentation in the subway or in the assembly line that was like, or room that was like, by the way, just before we start this year, got a lot of great stuff to teach you kids. Don't touch the third rail of the subway; it will explode you. Maybe he thinks that's what everybody learns every year, but it's only because of something that happened specifically the year he went to grade school.
That would explain it. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Like that year I went to, I think it was 6th grade, and the cool fun teacher everyone liked who I was supposed to have had just gotten arrested for possession of cocaine. And so we got to learn some stuff about that first thing that year.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So if that ever happens, if this ever comes up in like a most dangerous game, you may have to, as you're leaving, go like, by the way, and then say that last part.
That's the first thing they teach you in 6th grade. Don't get caught with cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Especially around a bear.
No. Yeah. Oh my God. Definitely not.
Forget about it.
I spun the wheel again real quick. Another line, because you're right. The man has a laser. He's as he's trying to get Suero, he screams, "I could smell your meat." That was fun.
Smell your meat cooking. You can smell your meat cooking.
Mm-hmm. Love that. And then spun the wheel again. We're going to introduce to another character, the third hunter, the most honorable Bostonian. I wanted to call it the only honorable Bostonian, but I didn't want people to get mad, so I went with most. So that guy is I'm sure like imagined as a Casey Affleck type.
Right?
He's not my favorite necessarily, but he's up there in terms of like guys for this new one. Mm-hmm. Anyone want to describe him?
I believe this is Diggins' wheel trunk, right? So I'd like to give him the honor.
I had a wheel chunk for it. This is Nando's name for it, which is to believe he also had a wheel chunk for this.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
But I can take a crack at it if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
So after Monroe dies, Tyler has found like the crime scene where the body's being taken away, after it's been de-identified and burned by the cleaner.
Best character? Well, second best.
Second best. And then another guy comes up to Monroe, and in the span of about 5 seconds, makes 4 references to living in Boston.
Yep.
He walks up and he's like, "Yo, fucking Southie, Harvard Yard, wicked pisser, Yankees suck."
Yeah, Nomar is a pretty, or Derek Jeter's a pretty boy.
Derek Jeter's a pretty boy.
Yeah.
Does Derek Jeter even play anymore?
Yeah, not even kind of. I think he owns part of the Marlins or something like that now.
Not even that anymore. That's how far we are from Derek Jeter. He's had like 2 post careers since he retired.
Yeah. Which maybe this guy doesn't really know sports, but he does want to seem like he does because he gets that that's like...
It's like part of the bit, right?
Yes.
It's like, well, I'm from Boston, so people will know I know fucking sports. What am I going to fucking do? Not be like, oh, hey, I know what these sports are. Fuck Derek Jeter, am I right?
Yeah.
Go Sox.
I think he just watched that one SNL sketch with Jimmy Fallon and Rachel Dratz where they just like pretend to be from Boston, and that's all he's got.
Yeah, that's it.
Like the sheer amount of like open up a map, like a tourist map of Boston that tells you where to get to all like the great chowder spots and all the like super cliche things about Boston, and pick 5 things at random, and he's throwing them all out every second.
Yeah, he's wonderful. But he's also, what's the word, proxy?
Yes. So he's a hitman for the Irish mafia, it sounds like. And so basically for this, a rich guy who I guess just wants the money.
Do you win money if you win the hunt?
I didn't think you did, but he says there's prize money.
Yep.
So I guess
I kind of
maybe it's a split, like it's a fee, or something like that. Maybe they pool like all the winnings and they take a cut and then you get maybe like $1 billion or something.
I just kind of assumed you did this because you wanted to.
Yeah, I also thought that. I don't know. Maybe it's like a 50-50. Like the mysterious shadowy organization that's existed for 2,000 years takes half, and the winner takes the other half.
What a horrible deal. Like, you have a 1 in 5 chance of winning. Even if you win, you're just doubling your money, kind of, plus a little bit. It's not good.
I don't know. But yeah, apparently there's prize money. So some super rich guys just hire people who are physically fit and good at stuff to go compete for them. Like, they pay the buy-in and they get most of the prize money if they win. So he's not like some rich a-hole. He's just like a hitman. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to kill you.
I want you to know, I'm not a psychopath. I'm not one of these fucking crazy people who want to kill for sport. I'm getting paid. This is a job.
And it's a good job. He's good at it. I mean, he's not good at it because he doesn't do it. But, like...
So he has a strange mix of competence and incompetence. For example, he finds Victor locked in a supply closet and just... pours some gasoline under it and lights it on fire. Smart thing to do. Not smart thing to do is he waits approximately an hour to do this, because he finds it pretty much right away, and when he actually does this, the phone is beeping again, giving Victor plenty of time to think about what he's going to do.
Yep. And, like, he keeps saying, like, Victor, you in there, Victor? I know you're in there. And, like, he knows 100% that is where Victor is. But, like, he's still saying this to him. Like, he's still going with the bit. Like, just, he's in there, or don't you? Is he too embarrassed to by himself open the door and there's no Victor? Maybe that.
Well, he's got to do all his singing, Just the 2 of us.
Oh, love that. That was great.
We can make it if we try. Fucking like awful. Like who?
Why? Fantastic. Why? Because when the song started, I'm like, "What's this song? I don't remember. I've heard this before." And then he gets to it, and I loved it. He was my favorite guy.
Your favorite new guy.
And his favorite new guy, of course. Yes. But yeah, he gets chloroformed and not killed. Interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna save him.
Yeah, Victor does not kill that many people.
He's a good man. He doesn't want to do that.
I think he only kills 2 people in the movie, right?
Yes, that's right.
But also
3 if you count. Let's see. Some of them he kills by like omission. I would say he kills the first guy. He kills that guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, he totally.
And then he kills the last person. Then he kills Boston.
He does kill the last. So yeah, no, he kills 3. You're right.
Yeah.
I forgot about the one whose name we can't remember.
Yeah, and that's the only one that I would say he, like, kills. All the rest of them, get in a fight, and he accidentally whatevers. But, like...
That one, by the end, is, like, uncomfortable to watch. I'm like, did you guys think about the imagery of this?
Hey, man.
Yeah.
We'll get to it, but I was just so happy at that moment that something like that happened, that scenario played out in general, because we got into the end of it, and I was like, we haven't even had anyone try to do some acting yet. We had the one guy, but he didn't really stick with it for long enough for it to be fun. But this one, I'm like, now we got it. The preposterous bullshit.
Oh, God.
I loved it.
They always do it with the women, too, because last movie, it was the woman assassin. Kennedy, she was pretending to be a waitress on, like, a boat party.
On a boat he could never have known to get on. Like, that may be the single most implausible thing in all of these, but yeah.
A boat he wasn't allowed to get on, I think, right? Like
That's right. A boat that if he got on and stayed on, he would have lost.
Yes.
Actually, I don't know if that's as implausible as the guy who pretended to be a priest at some random church in the first one.
Oh, so
that
good.
guy
That
at least justified it, where he's like, I read your psych profile, and I knew you would do church stuff, so based on your movement, I knew you'd come here. Like, it's also preposterous, but he at least gave an explanation. She's just on this boat for no reason.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, Boston guy, he chloroforms him. This is where the guy breaks but Boston guy also, pretends to be a cop for a second, and it like works. I like that too.
With a
he just buys that little toy badge.
Literally a costume shop badge. Like, there's no way.
I buy it.
Nice, convincing, because he's from Boston and New York, so obviously, he's a cop.
Yeah, why does everyone think this guy with the most cartoonishly thick Boston accent this side of Mark Wahlberg is...
Yep. And not real Mark Wahlberg. Not the one from Father Stu, the one that keeps calling us.
Yeah, that
one. The most Mark Wahlberg of all the Mark Wahlbergs.
That fucking guy.
Yeah, the Wahlburgers, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, he won't leave us alone.
Yeah, I don't know why they think he's a New York cop.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. It's all about confidence, He reads all those books and watches all the Scott Adams videos about how to fake being a cop, and you just have to believe in yourself long enough. That's how I started watching the Scott Adams videos, but that is what he learned from them.
And
that's the true secret.
Eventually, you too can be thrown off of every major newspaper in the country.
Yeah. Oh, man. Speaking of that, I spent a little again landing on one of Diggins is, only trust your fists, the police will never help you. Let's talk about the police in this.
So... to try and do not a most dangerous game, early in the movie, Victor steals a bunch of money from his job to, like, give to the Russian mobsters as a down payment, but they're like, no, you bring it all or we'll kill you. So he's like, I guess I have to do a most dangerous game, which, okay, I gotta go through the sequence of events here, because every single step of them is insane.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves the money with the bag... with the deposit bag that is from the workplace, making it unequivocally clear that this is the money, that he stole this money. He just leaves it in his sister's room. Inside the bag, not outside it, he has put a note telling her to give it to his boss.
That's right.
So she does that. His boss, who is the most understanding man in the world...
oh, yeah.
...who saw video footage of Victor stealing money from him and is like, there's got to be an explanation.
Yep.
Is with her, like, she goes to him and he's like, yeah, this is weird. Let's try to figure out what's going on. Which, I don't even remember what eventually leads them to going to the police. I think... it's when she gets a call from him or something.
That or the fact that the police are already investigating it.
Because the like building security manager already told the police about this. So they go and she tells the cop everything she knows, including showing him that she's got $3 million.
Yep.
Yes.
Which makes...
like, again, we talked about this last time. Just figure out another way. Every time they go to the cops and are like, this money isn't supposed to be on my account. And it's like, fuck, you ruined it. This was the whole point.
Yeah.
So the cop is like, all right, we're going to arrest him so that we can protect him from whatever's going on here, which is the least convincing thing I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
They eventually do find him, not because they're looking for him, but because he stole a boat and that got reported. So this whole storyline about him stealing money and being sought after by the police because of that is actually completely pointless because he gets arrested for something else.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really don't know what was going on here. Besides just we needed to give that character something to do, but like it was boring, so we did not need to do that.
And then when he's arrested and is like getting arraigned and like has a plea, has like a trial, not a trial, but like a hearing set for his bail, which I really don't think there's any possible way that happens in like an hour as it does here. The police,
remember when
who have identified him, know who he is, knows all the things he's wanted for, and that this weird like murder thing with lots of money is happening, and his loved ones are like, please, like, help him. He's in a lot of trouble because he owes a lot of money. Do nothing special. And when a mysterious man walks in and pays his bail, they're just like, all right, see you later. And he just walks out.
Yep. Like, you kind of assume the way something like this will go is that Christoph Waltz will have guys in the system that their job will be, to delete records and just get him out. But they don't. Like, if he goes to jail and he's not supposed to, they have no recourse within the game besides the random thing that they do. But, like, that is clearly a Hail Mary. Thank God he was in the city.
Or even just doing the thing they do, but without another hunter. Let's have the cleaner guy show up and be like, hey, I'm a benefactor, like I'm a family friend, I'm going to pay the bail, and then he gets to go out. Like, yeah, he has a trial set then and everything, but what do they care? It's a 24-hour hunt. What happens to his life after that, they don't give a shit about. Like,
apparently they do.
Because it's weird, because this was all set up because Christoph Waltz had to call an audible, because normally if you get arrested, it's game over, or like whatever, you're hunted for the rest of your life, or whatever the dumb thing is.
That's right.
So they had to do this weird thing where, because that's why he was worried. It was like, I gotta get out of here. I can't be arrested. That breaks the rules of the game.
Yeah, but my point is, like, why is that? I mean, in a normal world, again, there's no way you'd get a bail hearing the same day, so that would make sense. No. But in this crazy fantasy world where you immediately get a bail hearing, you just pay his bail. Why is this an issue?
Yeah,
it's true.
I don't know. I don't understand why we did this at all, because like you're saying, besides as an excuse to get somebody back in the thing technically, although he could have been in the thing the whole time, who cares? It does just serve to give the sister something to do that ends up not mattering at all.
Well, I guess it's kind of like it's Nixon. Remember Nixon from the first movie? Here he is.
Well,
here's the...
Sure, but like, you don't need to do any of the getting arrested part. Like, you could have him get arrested really quickly, picked up for something, and then Nixon gets him out of jail, but you don't need to do all the other stuff.
Yeah, that's the
before
thing.
that.
That's my point. He gets arrested for something entirely unrelated.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It is weird because, you assume they would have a better setting for this, especially since when this happens, Christoph Waltz is very, like, understanding and ready to be like, listen, I understand what happened. You definitely get to keep hunting because, A, I want you to. But B, he makes a pretty good case for it. So it's all cool. No problem.
Right.
So, yeah, you'd kind of figure if that was the case, they'd have a guy, which is the guy that you get for when that happens. But they do not. I do want to say, or I guess I'll spin the wheel again, landed on one of mine. Thank God Nixon is here.
Hey!
He makes the whole thing amazing by showing up. Now, did you guys expect he was going to appear in this?
Oh, hell nah. I had no inkling that would happen.
I thought he might, but when he wasn't one of the 5 hunters, I was like, oh, I guess not.
Yeah, I was very bummed that he had not been in it yet, but I did kind of go like, I wonder if there's going to be some sort of late game Nixon-related twist, and thank God there was, because he's so good in this.
The writers knew. They're like, the people fucking want Nixon.
They were right.
Let's fucking go.
The weird thing is, I don't remember liking him that much in the first one, but for whatever reason, when he showed up in this one, I was like, they figured out what to do with this guy.
Yeah. I liked him in the first one at that very last moment where he is like, oh, cheerio, friend, good hunt, and then he helps him up.
Yeah.
That was like, I think the moment where I was like, oh, I like this guy kind of works. Like, he makes this whole silly thing kind of make sense, as like, there are guys who are just here for the hunt and aren't bloodthirsty killers. Like, they are, but they're we'll just, let you go. And yeah, I appreciated that. And I loved that we got even more time with him after the little court thing, because I thought that was it. I thought Nixon just shows up, but then, yeah, he becomes part of the hunt, which was terrific. The only other thing with him that I think is worth not only other thing with him that's worth mentioning, but the main other thing with him that's worth mentioning is he has what Diggins said is your favorite line in the movie.
Yeah, so they in this scene where after he pays Victor's bail and he's just like driving him somewhere and he's like trying to make polite conversation. This is where I was kind of like, all right, they figured this guy out, because they make him such a little freak.
Yeah.
Everything he says is the most like Ted Cruz level pod person trying to pretend to be a human being.
Yeah.
My favorite of which was after he quotes Seinfeld because he's eating some black licorice. And I don't know, there's some Seinfeld line about a black licorice candy or something. I've never watched Seinfeld. And he goes like, yes, I like to watch comedies like that. I enjoy laughing.
Yeah, that's great.
A show about nothing, only in America.
I think he does literally say that.
He does. He does.
God. Yeah, so when he started doing stuff like that, I was like, oh yeah, make him a little weirdo. This is great.
Did you guys, between last movie and this movie, forget what his signature weapon was?
I
did, yes.
did, but as soon as he pulled it out, I was like, oh, yeah.
Well,
Nixon's back.
I remembered what the first one was. I didn't remember what the second part of that was. But when we saw that, I was like, oh, hell yeah. That's sick as hell.
The Assassin's Creed.
The hidden blade, yep.
Yes.
Ice pick.
Yeah, as if, hiding it is valuable at all in the situation he's in the beginning of this fight.
Also, when we see it, it's clearly on the outside of his sleeve, and yet it's not visible at any other point in the movie.
That's a good point. I forgot about that.
Other wild thing, by the way. So, they're having that conversation, and it's on the way to a death match. It's polite conversation on the way to a death match. So,
Well, that's the best. That's kind of what's, so wonderful about these movies, or why I think this guy works so well in this, is because he's just, he's just having fun. He's just out here and enjoy himself, and he does murders, but he isn't too serious about it.
Did we talk about what exactly the deal was with Nixon? In terms of
we haven't.
So so he gets Victor gets arrested, which is against the rules, but
it's a violation.
Basically it's a violation of the rules. Miles informs him, is like, well, you weren't trying to get arrested, you got arrested by accident. So what we'll do is, if you agree to a death match with Nixon, you're back in the game. You just have to. It's not even a death match. It's a one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat. But if you would get out of the room, it's okay.
Yes,
because we can't have Nixon or Victor die. So
we can't.
We have to,
I won't accept it.
Yeah.
If Victor kills Nixon in a cameo of Nixon's, Victor better lose the whole thing, because now I hate him. That's bullshit.
I mean, I truly, by the end of the movie, really didn't care if Victor won or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Same. And neither did Victor.
He was 50-50 on it.
He just kind of want to be done.
Oh, my God.
But yeah. So there's the death match. What was I going to say about this? I love when he tries to bribe this guy.
Yeah. What do you think? They're all rich beyond rich.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he thinks
bribing him with his own money.
Maybe he thinks this guy is another Bostonian.
Proxy?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It feels like a weak-ass play. And Nixon could not have been more offended.
I love that.
Also,
he was irate.
He knows Nixon's not a proxy at that point because he asks that.
That's true,
and
yeah.
Nixon says no.
I bet.
Yeah, I thought it was a wild gambit by Victor.
I liked it. I thought it was brave.
I was like, why is this the first time you're doing this? Why didn't you offer it to the person you did know was a proxy?
Exactly. That guy who hung out with you for a while definitely would have taken the deal. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe his boss just really likes to have had a guy be killed. But, if you're in the mafia, who gives a shit? But I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't have worked.
Another, little weirdo thing for Nixon in this bit that I love is when they're going to their death match inside a water treatment plant, the cleaner guy tells Nixon, I installed a hook as per your request.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
What, you get a big meat hook in there to, hang him on or something? Is this a Mortal Kombat stage? And
did we ever see the hook?
No, we do. No, we do. and this is why I love it. Because no, it's not that. What it is when he walks in, he takes off his jacket, and there's a little hook on the wall
That's
for
great.
him to hang his jacket on.
That was cool. I like that. Yeah, this movie's good, and he's the best part of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and cannot deny he is great. So yeah, he beats him, gets stabbed because he's not fully out of the room, which, like, again, it's like the rules of this are so hard to keep track of.
It's so weird, yeah. Like, he gets a little bit out of the room, he's like, I'm out of the room, I'm out of the room. And Miles' like, no, not all of the way, no, not all of the way out of the room.
That might be the worst one yet.
That was horrible again. Yeah, wow. Dodge times.
You're not out of not your whole body, Victor Suero.
We're doing Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Get out!
They're
Get
similar.
out of the
They're both
room!
Austrian. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, really, when you think about it, doing a Schwarzenegger is getting pretty close.
The only thing with him, you would say, as like an accent thing with him, is every line, like Christoph Waltz says, is about a second from the next. Like, every word is spaced out by an insane amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, you have to go to the hunt. This will be a fantastic hunt. Anyway, that was more about the timing than the actual sound. But he goes and we didn't really talk about this, by the way. There's another hunter we skipped in between this time.
Oh, yeah.
The Elon Musk-type.
Yeah.
Oh, the Elon Musk-type.
Oh,
Want to get into that one?
I do quickly want to say Nixon does stab him in the liver, which, as I learned from a little movie called All Quiet on the Western Front, would have killed him very quickly.
Yeah, it's
true.
like, that's your liver. And I'm like, oh, so he's dead.
Yep.
Because he was stabbed in the liver.
Perhaps. I mean, almost. And
Maybe he just grazed it. Even though at the end the doctor says you have a perforated liver. So, unless that's a word for means, oh, your liver's like, fine.
yeah.
We call fine livers perforated.
I mean, at that point, we got, 3-4 hours left of hunt? Maybe more. Maybe like 6.
Yeah.
I don't know how long he can survive. Probably not that long, but he tries.
And does. But yeah, so we have our Elon Musk type. So, okay, we get a guy, and like, when I first saw this guy, I'm like, does he kind of look like Elon Musk from a distance? And I see him up close, and I'm like, kinda, maybe not, maybe that was a stretch. But then, we hear this guy's backstory, and I'm like, Elon Musk?
Yep.
And his deal is like, I got all my money from my parents and never felt like I was adequate enough. So I had to get more money, and then I just had to learn to hunt. So I do the hunt now. Also, my thing is dogs. The 20,000-year-old bond between man and dogs hunting with man. So I gave a PowerPoint to the board,
Love
and
that.
they let me use a dog.
It does feel like cheating to me. I don't think a dog should count, but...
I was trying to figure...
I will say...
Yeah, Diggins?
If I were the board, I would have allowed it because it's like a little pug or something.
Yeah!
Mm-hmm.
It's not
a hunting dog.
Not quite a pug. What's a bulldog? It's a bulldog.
Yeah, it's a little
It's a little
bulldog.
bulldog.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they can be kind of tough, I guess, but I would think you'd want like a big pit bull or something for this.
Yeah.
or like a hunting... I guess like bulldogs could be used for that, but yeah, like there's, like
German Shepherds, like like so many. So anyway, so this guy, I wouldn't spend too long on him, but like, so his whole thing is crazy because he's like daddy issues because daddy got him all his money, and the whole time I'm like, fuck, is this guy supposed to be Elon Musk? He has the kind of like dumb hair that Elon has, so I just couldn't get it out of my head. I couldn't get it out of my head.
No, I'm with you there. I also was like, especially when he said he didn't earn his money because he's a real fool or whatever. I was like, yeah, that's Elon Musk.
Yeah. I have more money than Wells Fargo. And I'm like, that's like really specific.
Yeah.
Like, did they pay for this?
But then again, saying that thing about how all his money came from his dad and these kills are the only things he's ever earned in his life is far too much self-awareness to be Elon Musk.
That's right.
That's true. That's very true. So Victor tricks him into falling down a hole and then throws like a refrigerator or something on him. Like, oh, he's dead. But no, not dead. He hits the arm, but it's like fine.
Well, it's
like,
not that fine.
I mean, it's probably broken, but it should be like bloody and ruined.
And like, yeah, it should have been mangled, and he probably should have passed out from the sheer pain that like you would incur from that kind of injury. But he's like more or less okay. He does have the best death in the movie though.
Mm-hmm. Off screen, like all deaths should be.
Off screen death, but described.
Yes. Do you want to say what it was?
Yeah, I'll cover this. So basically, he Victor steals a boat, and the dog pursues him, and eventually Victor kicks the dog off the boat. And the dog's name's Katie, by the way. And you just hear this guy goes, "Katie, no!" And fucking jumps in the water and drowns because he only has one good arm to rescue his dog. The dog was fine, though. The movie specifically tells us, like, the dog lived, ironically. It's like, okay, so you're not killing the dog.
But it's not like... That's not like that's even a surprise, because even the parts that this guy can see, the dog is swimming just fine, going towards the shore... It's called the doggy paddle for a reason. Dogs are actually pretty good swimmers.
Yeah.
And also
we're pretty close to the shore.
Also pretty close to the shore. And just for good measure, the dog was kicked off the boat holding a flotation device.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This dog could not be more good.
But he had to go in. He loves Katie so much. That's what we're supposed to take away as an audience. That, you know, even with everything you said, Diggins, which is very accurate, it's you still gotta save your dog. It's man's best friend.
Yep.
So
I agree. He's 100% right.
I think this is because the screenwriters are cowards who caved to the "Does the Dog Die" lobby.
Yes.
The powerful "Does the Dog Die" lobby in Hollywood, which demands that no dog can ever even be implied to be in danger of dying at any moment, or else half of America will lose their goddamn minds.
I mean, that is true. How dare you?
I mean, they built the whole franchise. John Wick is just about a dog and how bad it is that it died for a second.
Yeah, and like, I can't believe you killed one. But that's when we're... people love that about John Wick, because it's, that is what I would do in that situation. So I'm glad you spoke truth to power, John Wick.
I will say doesthedogdie.com has actually become a very good general content warning website.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's what I have always said trigger warnings should be, is you opt into them. You go on the website and you go click your things, and then it will tell you, but you only see those things. So, like...
Oh. So wait, they do more than just Does the Dog Die?
Yeah.
They covered, like,
great.
Almost anything a person could conceivably be uncomfortable seeing in a movie at this point.
Yeah, like car accidents or something, which, like, yeah, it always, like, I totally get the trigger warnings, makes sense. I was always a little bugged when they would say, this movie's a car accident, because it's like, well, now I'm going to be looking for it. But this way you don't have to look for it, and yet, so it's perfect.
Like when a movie tells you there's going to be Monster Hunter in it.
Oh, my God.
I know, it's such a bummer.
It's bullshit. What was I going to say? Oh, this is also the only other thing I wanted to get at with this guy. Well, not really even him, because this is where we get this is where Grand Theft Auto kind of happens, where like Victor is stealing car to boat to whatever.
Both times to random dudes who shout, "Hey, what are you doing?" or some variation thereof while he does it, and yet make
that's my property,
and yet make no moves to stop him. Boat guy is right next to him while he's getting on the boat and turning it on, a process that is not instantaneous, and he's just like, "Oh man, what are you doing?"
That's what happens when you park your boat in Staten Island. It gets taken.
I mean, really, if you go to
put the club on that boat.
If you go to Staten Island, you deserve whatever happens to you, because what are you doing?
Yeah. I will say, it's good to know that guy didn't help the guy. Doc guy did not jump in to save the Elon Musk guy. He just watched him drown. So that's pretty fun. I do think even Doc guy would be able to be like, I think that guy was hunting that other man with that dog. Like, I would be able to explain to the police what I think this is. And maybe he did, and they just didn't believe him. But
I think there's some kind of manhunt going on, and the cops are like, "That's weird. We've been kind of no, it's unrelated. Never mind."
Yeah, no, it wouldn't make any sense. This guy did die, though. Actually, you know what? Well, actually, you know what? No, the guy that died didn't die with his millions of batons on him. The cleaner did get those, so maybe it does just seem like a guy that fell onto the tracks.
Maybe the cleaner's just that good at his job.
He seems good. He's competent. You got to be if you're going to dress like that. You got to be able to back it up.
Yeah, it's true.
So I spun the wheel again, land on one of DJs going to the most remote parts of New York City, kind of. Not even city, really, because Long Island also counts, apparently.
Yeah, so we get the rules is like, so you can go to any of the 5 boroughs of New York City and Long Island. And it's like, wow, that, like, map is huge.
Yep.
Like, you could go wherever you want, man. And for whatever reason, our boy Victor, who, like, his thing is like, I'm from the Bronx. I know every part of the Bronx.
Yep.
I'm Bronx guy. It's like, okay, he's going to spend the movie going to parts of the Bronx that only he knows, and he can hide in the bodegas and, you know, go around, and it's that fun hide-and-seek game. But no, he's just like, I'll go to the most remote parts of New York City, where if any of these people see a warm body, they'll be like, oh no, this is the person I have to hunt. It's like New York City. It's not like, you know, the hunt, I don't even know, like, you know, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
I assume Tulsa's, like, pretty open. If I'm wrong, just let me know, everybody.
I mean,
I got my Tulsa facts wrong.
Yeah, I've been to parts of America where it is pretty, like, yeah, where it would be harder to hide than others. Especially in New York, because it's so crowded. Like, most boroughs would be pretty tough to hide in. But I do think it's really funny, because I did look this up. I was curious. Detroit, the city where the last one of these takes place in, 142 square miles.
Okay.
Long Island, just a part of this city that is optional, 1,400 square miles. So there's like 3 Detroits in Long Island, and then you've also got Brooklyn and all the rest of this stuff. They should never be able to find him. It should be so hard to do coincidental bump-ins.
Yeah, like, even if it was like the confines is Manhattan, the island of Manhattan, or your confines, it's like, all right, yeah, that's pretty tight. I mean, comparatively.
I mean, yeah, just the subway station or the subway system plus skyscrapers. How do you get caught?
Yeah, man.
Where are they going to find you? Yeah, it's like the subway system is great for this. Like, riding it around, like we're saying, would be fantastic. But also, yeah, just being in the World Trade Center building, they tell you what building you're in and wouldn't tell them what floor.
Yeah.
They'd never get
and
you.
We said this for the first one, too. We're like, they have, like, multiple, you know, multiple story buildings in Detroit. You can do this. Like, it seems like, you know, for these manhunts, it's not like, I mean, there is that movie, The Hunt, that just does this in, like, a specific area. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, okay, like, you can recruit them in New York, but maybe it's, like, a very specific area. Like, you just get Hell's Kitchen. You know, somewhere where it's like there's not a lot of places to hide.
Staten Island is not bad as like a version of this.
Yeah, it's very suburby, so yeah.
Well, he does in the first movie, Dodge Tynes does go, like, the first thing he does is like go in a skyscraper. But
that's right.
It turns out they just have the magic ability to know what floor he's on or something.
Yes.
Yeah, which that was weird. I
would say, like, you could do that. You could have him be, like, you know, some sort of weird. They get that information from him. Like, it, you know, it tells you what floor you're on, it tells you your elevation. But they don't do that. I like, too, that the first one is, like, I guess I do like that this one is Manhattan / all the other places. Because, like, Most Dangerous Game, the book takes place on an island. So, this is almost that, except it's like 4 islands, and they're humongous. Speaking of that, you guys know, I mean, this is like a weird little trivia fact, what the name of the island in Most Dangerous Game is, the book?
I don't.
Everyone should know this because it's so dumb. Ship Trap Island.
Oh.
Yep. So if you ever see that, sail away. It may be a ship trap.
Weirdly specific.
Hard to be sure. I spun the wheel again, landed on... So, yeah, remote parts of New York City. He gets on the LIRR by accident and fucking wins the whole thing. It's incredible.
Yeah! Amazing.
I love it. Because there was a part of me that was like, when they said that, including Long Island, I'm like, get it. Go to Long Island. It's huge. And it's so hard to get around. Like, compared to New York, it's like, it's so much traffic. They don't get stuck in traffic. You could lose the pedophile. Like, on foot.
Right?
But, instead they do, he just gets on it, rides it, and he said, he's very smart. It's like, anybody else got on a train? No. Could you outdrive the train? Not really. There's too much traffic. Okay, cool. It takes a nap. At this point, he is so stabbed, too. Like, insanely stabbed.
Oh, yeah. He's like 2 hours dead at this point, if there was any realism here.
But then the best part, so then he goes to Long Island and hides in the bushes for, like, 3 hours. Like, he's, like, Christoph Waltz says he's like getting his ping. They ping his location, and then he just moves a little bit, and they're just bumbling around in the dark trying to find this man. It's impossible. It's so funny.
I wish we'd gotten to see that.
Me too, right? Just like them all with flashlights, like Dutch time.
Hello?
Or the other guy, whatever, Victor Swearo.
Victor.
I'm a cop or something. I'm a helpful
guy. Look at my
guy.
fake plastic badge. Yeah. Hey, it's me, new guy. Hey.
But
I'm a funny, wacky character.
And which is not true, by the way, because that's not what one of them is doing, but we'll find out what they're doing later. What it turns out that one is doing is, because Victor goes, he's like wandering around. He goes and hits a party, big house mansion thing on the shore, having a party at like 4 a.m. But I guess Long Island, they're crazy over there. And there's like a blonde woman who's kind of flirting with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks like he just got hit by a train. Like, he looks horrible.
Yeah. She later comes to the conclusion that he must be a drug addict, and it's the first thing you think of looking at this man.
Absolutely, especially one that wanders onto your property at 4 a.m. Like, he's not like a guy that might be coming to this party. The party is long over. I mean, it's not, but like, nobody shows up that late and isn't already up to something. But
it's crazy how thirsty she is. I couldn't figure out. It's like, oh, are they trying to tell us he's hot? Because she's like, I just wanted to hang out and maybe like do stuff with you.
Just wanted to
You're gonna
fool
be a
around
weirdo
with him.
about it.
Yeah.
Ugh. Just a stranger.
And again,
just
like,
wants to fool around with a stranger.
He's a handsome man, but not now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
under normal circumstances, I think he's got a shot, but not under these.
None of us are handsome 3 stabs in.
Yeah. Wearing like ratty clothes that you found or whatever. Like, he's used the shirt he was wearing to bandage many of his other parts, all of his bleeding parts. So like, yeah, he looks awful. So she's there, there's a friend is there, and they're both like talking, and it's like, oh, you should flirt with him. He goes and he's like, no, I don't want to do this.
He's on that Sigma grind set.
Yep, Sigma grind set. And even though that would be a pretty good place to go, right? Big party. Unless the person
apparently not.
organized the party. Which, impossible. This is a pretty safe place to be. Hide in the bathroom for 2 hours, barricade the door.
Or just have sex.
Or
just have like a crazy just like pounding session. It takes so long.
I mean, he would die. He can barely like lift his arms over his head right now. There's no way he's gonna put in if he tries that, he'll get kicked out of the party. He's gonna maintain a low profile. But I was gonna say he does this. He goes and sits on the beach because he's just like kind of running out the clock. It's got maybe a half hour left or something. And this woman comes over to him. And he says the line that I love. Do you guys remember the line he says?
Are you one of them?
Are you one of them?
Yeah, are you one of them? I feel like it's so crazy that he even has to ask that. Because, like, what are the odds? But it is, like, a good idea to ask that, considering the circumstances. Because, yeah, she's like, no, I don't know what that means. Also, I got shot. And then he turns out one of the ones has a small crossbow with poison darts or something?
Yeah,
poison
that's
bolt?
her
With
thing.
a deadly neurotoxin.
That's a gun. You know, it's not a gun, but it's a gun. That's a violation. Do you remember what she says? Why she was there?
Like I had to listen to this bitch for like 2 hours or whatever.
She's pretending to be this dumb bee's friend so she could use her telescope to scout the coast.
Oh
yes, telescope stuff, which, like, were you, though? Did you, like, hang out? By the way, I really quick want to check on that telescope you got over there.
Yeah.
We just were at the telescope. I know, but I feel like things have changed up in the sky. Real quick, let me just get some telescope time.
Yeah, really important. I get some telescoping
beer pong. In a minute. I feel like there's going to be a comet or something. Why is it pointed at the beach? I don't know. I'm not good at telescopes. Which means she says she's been there for hours. I think she says 2 hours is the time she gives. Which means he's been there for 3. So she got there an hour after he got there, which, sure, that seems reasonable. And decided her first plan was like, if I can go pretend to be a neighbor at a woman's party in this very small, like, you know, everybody's rich, they must know who you are town. I can use her telescope. Scout the beach. It's insane. If she said, like, drone, I'd be like, yeah, I guess you could probably get away with that.
Yeah.
But no, telescope.
Not even, like, binoculars or, like, just, like, the thing you look to see stars.
Yeah.
That's what I had to use to find. Like, that is not how that is at all.
But yeah, this is the part of the movie that I loved, because I love it when a hunter is in a part where they couldn't have been doing something impossible. And it turns out they're part of it. Like, I love that. The fact that he, like, drowned her or, like, suffocated her, I don't know what the word is, in the sand.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal, but at that point,
She
killed the thirstiest woman on Long Island by accident. So
right. Listen,
yeah, it's a shame.
In context of the story, you know, whatever. She's an assassin trying to kill him who already killed a woman. The imagery, though, is of this big, strong man, like, sitting on top of a thin black woman, choking her to death.
Yeah.
And they just sit with that for like a good 10 seconds.
Yeah, you can easily like get uncomfortable.
And I'm like,
Now-
I don't know about this.
Now, what do you guys think the fixer did?
Oh,
Because he can't.
body in the ocean, fed to sharks.
Has to be, right? You can't leave the body around because it got neurotoxined.
It's true.
So is that what is like? Did she leave it's like a note? By the way, I'm gonna go swimming in the water with the sharks. Also, so is my friend. We're gonna do a 2-person swim thing.
Well, I think usually he just disappears the body. He says he does the thing with Monroe because trains come and like he doesn't have time to fully disappear it.
Right.
But even if you disappeared it, like people would have questions about her because it was her house at the party she was just at 5 minutes ago with this new telescope enthusiast from down the block. There's no way. You would need to give him a story or something. You need to like put her shoes and like their clothes next to the sand. So it seems like they went. I don't know.
And she's a presumably rich white woman. The police would definitely care.
And she was just talking to this Hispanic man from outside, like the guy who definitely killed her or something. There's no way this wouldn't be on the news, podcasts.
Yeah,
and everybody would kind of put it
true.
together because he got arrested earlier and an Amtrak guy saw him, not Amtrak guy, LAR guy saw him. Like, he's so caught. Victor's going to jail for a lot of stuff later, but this is another thing that even when he thinks he's done, he's also going to jail for this.
Yeah, busted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's on our thing, on our wheel.
Well, we
Kills
got
the Boston man.
We got to talk about the ending, though. Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything else. Is there anything else on the wheel for that? I don't think anybody added anything.
I don't think so, but we can just talk about it.
Oh, wait, there is. Yeah, there is. So first of all, yeah, Nixon survives another hunt, thank God. And also keeps the sister alive because now the hunt is in her blood. Yes. Loved it. Yeah, he's just great again.
He like donated blood to her to make her not die
Yep.
at a hospital, so it was good.
He's a good guy. Besides this hunting thing, he seems normal. Not normal, I guess, but what's the word? Ethically, like right down the line.
He seems decidedly unnormal. That's what I like about him. He's a little freak.
That too, yeah. But yeah, all the rest of these weirdos have like grudges they would never. But he's like, oh yeah, no, I'll do it, whatever.
Yeah. The Irish guy almost kills the sister because the sister finds him because
yeah, she gets a big stab.
Oh yeah,
she's also dead
because of Montauk and Lighthouse. She's like, I've got it. I know where he'll be. They have a whole thing about lighthouses for some reason.
Yeah.
And yeah, she tries to stop Irish guy, but instead ends up stabbing herself in the stomach.
Well, yeah, and another thing about the most honorable Bostonian, he is like, I'm not going to kill your sister, bro. It's fine. Like, I don't hurt women. And like, yeah,
I don't kill women because I'm from Boston. We don't do that.
Yeah, that's something Bostonians never do. And then she does get involved and then does get the accidental, or not even accidental stabbing. I feel like he stabs her, but he's like, listen, I had to, bro.
Yeah, come on.
She gets the stab that kills Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad. Big piece of something right up the gut and survives somehow. But I guess Rick Flag wasn't rushed to the hospital.
I mean, if I were boss the guy, I would have like, instead of letting him indulge in his Bronx rage and punch me off the side of a lighthouse,
incredible.
I would have been like, listen, man, you let me kill you, I'll call a hospital. I'll call like an ambulance for her right now.
Yeah,
I don't want her to die. I don't care. Like, I don't want that to happen.
Give her $20,000 or something to start a new life up in Boston, a place
come on,
where
bro. You're already like
be.
super rich, bro. Like, what are you making a sticker for?
That's true because she's got bazillions of dollars that the cops definitely took from her. But still, like they say, she has more secret money in a different account. She's going to get
Panama account, offshore, baby. We're rich. We know how to say these things.
And the feds aren't going to
be
watching her like a hawk for the rest of her life.
Yeah, like years ago, we've put it in an offshore account. It's like Panama. We put it in a Panamanian account, so everyone knows exactly.
Yeah,
it's like weirdly specific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a funny part of like Panama Papers too. Bill Clinton and Richard Branson and Victor Suero's sister all have money in this one account. And for some reason, she has more than the other ones. But maybe if she pays her taxes, she'll be okay. But yeah, let's talk about the worst security detail because that's the other thing on the list.
Oh
for DJ.
My God!
Yeah, because this whole time we've been doing hunt politics, and I couldn't care less. But
same dude.
Something. What happened?
All right, so we get to hunt politics, and this is like supposed to matter for whatever reason. But basically, the high points are Miles skirted the rules when he sanctioned the bringing Nixon in for the death match, right? But he was able to make more side bets off it, and all the board cares about is money, right? So that's all that matters. But there's this, like, lady who's, like, I don't know, the chairwoman or something, and she's like, nah, those ain't the rules. I'm the rules shark around here. So she's also from Boston. Not really.
That's right. She's the least honorable Bostonian.
Yeah. So there's they're mad that it was him because he won, and basically his underlings ready to take the fall. And the chairwoman's like, all right, she's going to take the fall because this was her idea, even though it wasn't, but she's a good underling, so she's going to take the fall.
I completely lost track of who it was in charge of it, though. Like, by that point, I was like, did she do it? And it doesn't matter.
She was taking the fall because she's a good little underling.
Because what is the most important value in the mentor-mentee relationship?
It's the keystone. It's loyalty. Loyalty is the keystone.
Yeah.
So she gives him a gun and says, hey, you got to take care of this problem. And it's basically like, you got to shoot her. And then he's like, oh, what if I don't want to? And she's like, oh, man, then I'll have to take care of two problems. This is very important. Her security detail pulls out a gun and points it at Miles. So Miles is like, all right, I'm going to do what I got to do. And kills the chairwoman. And the security's like, whoa, you just shot my boss. 404 error. I don't know what to do now.
Yep.
And Miles is like, I'm in charge now. I'm the boss. And everyone's like, yes, you are. Mm-hmm. You're in charge now. Pedophile goes along with it.
He's not
he gives
happy
$1 million
about it, though.
He's not, but he's got to go along with it. He goes, hey, thank you so much, my underling. You get $1 million and a promotion. So, you know, it's Miles' game now. This is his arena.
Well, the thing you're not realizing, DJ, is that one of the bylaws set down in the past 2,000 years, I think this was set down in the 900s, actually, is that the whole, like, background administrative system that runs the game runs off Klingon rules.
I was going to say Sith rules, but yeah.
If you kill somebody, you get their job.
Yep.
And even if the person who was there to protect them was like, oh, I protect you now.
Well, I can't protect them anymore when they're dead, so might as well not do that.
The second she dies, it's now he gets her job, and so that very second, he's like, oh, okay, well, now protecting you is my job.
That's right.
Although if I were Christoph Waltz, I would fire him. I'd be like, you're demonstrably terrible at your job.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I guess if you're Christoph Waltz and you're killed, it's just like, don't tell anybody else how this went down. But yeah, I do want you to pull out the gun next time. But I don't give a shit if I'm killed and then you shoot the person or not, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, you were supposed to kill me. I'm actually surprised that I shot her because it should have meant my certain death.
Yeah, but yeah, he does not. And then it's like, the next hunt is coming, and that's the end. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yeah. We'll see you all next time for the hunt.
This is another place where, just like White Lotus, I want him to go to Legoland in Season 3 and do a hunt at Legoland or something.
A Legoland hunt would be super fun.
They'd be cool with it. I feel like them, Sesame Place, one of those, like, Dorney Park, one of those, like, amusement parks that's not that big, that would be able to, like, play around with this. I think that'd be great.
We have closed the park for 24 hours. We spent an incredible expense to get the park just for you.
Oh, they would definitely. They can't close it. It has to be a regular day when people are there so that some of them can seem to not be people that are hunting them, and then they are. Ooh, like, he gets on a roller coaster, and there's another guy already on the roller coaster, and then when he gets to the top, that guy pulls out, like, a flail, and it's like, wait, so you were just riding this roller coaster all day? It's like, absolutely. My name is Jefferson. I'm from Tennessee or something.
Yeah, and then he's like, and now hold on. Oh, I've been on this roller coaster all day. And it's really getting to me. Oh, give me a second.
Yeah, like, there would definitely be someone in a big Mickey Mouse or Snoopy or whatever costume doing it, or Berenstain Bears. I don't know what the theming at Dorney Park is, but, like, he would take a picture with somebody. Someone would come up to him in a big suit and do the, like, hands on face, like, mascot movements, and then he'd start talking to him like, thanks, I can trust you, and then they'd take off their head to reveal that they're the guy from before. It'd be so great. They got to do that. There's one more thing on the wheels as a question. How do you win this hunt? What would your guys' strategy be? Because we know the city. Like, we know New York. I don't know, like, Long Island that much. But, like, let's say it is only Manhattan, because that's reasonable. Even that is far too generous, but sure. Where would you go? What would you do?
I mean, it depends on like the resources I have, but you just have to go all do the touristy things where there's a lot of people, and it's like it takes like a while to go through. So like Top of the Rock, go take in a Broadway show. Like, I feel like there's just like a lot of like those activities you could do and get away with that would help eat a lot of time. And I feel like the thing is just to be near people, right?
Yeah,
like that's the key.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I'd go to like Midtown and like float through bars across Manhattan all day, where I'm always surrounded by 5 million people at all times.
But they could still stab you. They could like walk up to you in the bar, do a stab, and pull you out. I don't think that would work, especially with like a guy like Nixon. He would get you. He'd be tough.
I guess because
he
like,
could do it.
The paranoia of like being around people. I don't know. How would you do it?
I would get in one of those rickshaws and give them a lot of money and be like, pretend you're a subway, and every so often we're just going to go in a different direction or something. Like, because you could do it with the taxi cab, but taxi cab you get stuck and like whatever. But like I would want, or like a city bike, just city bike around. They'd never catch you. It'd be so hard.
They might catch you if you city bike.
How? They would have to get on a city bike, because if they're on if they're like driving a car, you could just go down a different way street and then lose them completely. And if they're on foot, they'd have to run and catch you on a city bike. So, like, I feel like city biking through Midtown would be enough. I mean, you get tired eventually, but you can just kind of go slowly. I think the other one is just skyscrapers. Get in a skyscraper in the World Trade Center and just keep going up and down the elevator and shit. And just the odds that they'll run into you are insane.
Or like a museum, because I feel like if you're crowded, like it'd be hard to go in the stab, right?
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, man. Like go on Tinder or Hinge, match with the first person you could. Well, you can't have a phone, but I'm like you got to find a partner.
Steal a phone.
So you can be with it.
We could steal someone's phone.
Yeah, right.
It's New York. You can steal anything. It's fine. Eric Adams.
It's true.
No crime. Crime is all legal. It's the purge. Mm-hmm. I guess one other thing you could do, because part of it is like you would want to be somewhere where people like. Go to like a nightclub or something where they search you for weapons at the door. Because, hey, that guy with the gigantic whip thing probably can't get in with that.
The guy, hey, Assassin's Creed, man, you got to take this shit off.
Yeah.
You can't have this on your wrist.
And you just have to win a fist fight in a crowded club. And like I think Victor, especially in the beginning of the day, has probably got a good shot.
And they can't like secret stab you, which is like I think important.
Yes, exactly. Like they could take a knife from inside the club and stab you, but I do feel like security would be kind of invested in this situation now.
Yeah, like somewhere where like your safety like really matters. That's why I think that things like Top of the Rock or like One World Trade Center, like I feel like those things. It's like you're probably pretty safe.
Yeah, like what's the safest, most protected part of the city, do you think, in terms of like I don't know, besides like the police station? You can't go there. Like, you can't get arrested. Can you like go to the DMV and like get your license renewed?
Well, you can't have your license on you.
Right. But like sit in that room where you just wait.
Go to the Army Recruitment Center in Times Square and just take a really long time with it.
Or a courthouse. That's not against the rules, and they can't bring weapons in there.
Get like a pizza delivery job, like a day job, like real quick, and it's like I'll just make me do pizzas. I'll do pizzas so well, and then you're around a lot of places. You can probably bullshit.
Yeah, I do think riding the subway all day would probably work too. It'd be really hard for them to figure out what subway you're on and get.
I think that is like the easiest one,
especially if you're changing up.
I really do.
Like you get off at hubs and go take some completely random other line all the time.
Exactly. And especially, I mean, even in the Midtown one, there's still ones you could do that wouldn't go across, like, boroughs. But with the one he's in, you can just get on a train that goes anywhere as long as it's not the PATH train. You're good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so much stuff like that. Any touristy stuff, cable cars, I don't know. There's things that you could definitely get into where you'd be pretty protected. But yeah, he doesn't do any of that.
And like it's crazy to me his Bronxness is not more a part of it, because like they make that such a thing.
Yeah, you kind of figure there'd be a scene where like he's getting chased and then like New Yorkers whip their tire irons at Nixon or whatever to defend their hometown hero who died in a fire.
Right?
Like, because he's a big deal, kind of.
You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
You mess with all of us, yeah.
Try to hunt
get their cranes ready.
Yeah.
That's a good point. The only time, though, we're from the Bronx, we know this neighborhood, comes up is when his sister-daughter wife gets to threaten that one guy that she'll tell Paco that he was doing business with the Russians.
Yeah.
God.
Also, the Russian guy, I liked him. I think he was also the tracksuit guy in Hawkeye. I'm not positive about this because he's not on anyone's Wikipedia. Like, this guy is not listed on the IMDb page for the show. but like he's so close, and that feels like the kind of job he gets a lot.
Oh, I get to be a Russian mobster again? Okay.
Yeah, and he's good at it. He's a big old guy. Pretty cool.
I gotta put food on the table, so, let's get to it.
Yeah, I hope they make more of these.
I mean, yeah, please, they don't stop.
I mean,
I want to see one in Boston now. Maybe all of them be Bostonians. I mean, that one guy's dead, but maybe his brother shows up and he looks a lot like him. That'd be fun for me.
what if the obnoxious New Yorker assassin shows up in the Boston season?
Oh my God. Yeah, right. That would be pretty good.
So, what's the next city you guys want to see for this?
I mean, so the first one was Detroit. The second one was this one. It has to be one that, like, is recognizable. I would like them to take this overseas, do it in France or something, in Paris or whatever. But I imagine these will be in American cities that look like Toronto mostly. So, I don't know.
Seattle. Most dangerous game, Seattle.
I want them to do L.A. It would be chaos.
L.A. would be fun.
You fucking imagine L.A.
Yeah.
The bounds are Los Angeles County, so, every prey wins. So honestly, I'm giving you a really good deal here. No one ever catches anyone.
Yeah.
Do it in LA.
Stuck in traffic the whole time. On the 405.
You just get in a car and you're set.
I do think there'd be something. I know we were joking, but I do think like Orlando or something like that could be fun. Like a fake Orlando where it's not Disney World, but it like looks like Disney World.
Welcome to Adventureland theme park.
Exactly, like something like that would be pretty great.
The
New Orleans is the other kind of new, like, American city that has some sort of character.
Right.
But even that I'm not as in love with as, like, because it's got to be that you can go to different places and we know what that place is, and then they, like we're like, oh, this is what he's going to do in this location. And then there's a big fight there. And there's not a ton of those. There are a couple.
I'm really looking forward to all the speeches Christoph Waltz will give where he pretends he grew up in the city that this is in.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I love that. That was great. But also, I do think we're going to get Dodge Tynes and Victor Suero and the Resistance eventually.
Most Dangerous Game 37. That'll be that one.
I hope that. And yeah, I think that would be great. I really loved it. Any other thoughts about this one?
Nando, do you think you could beat Victor Suero?
Absolutely. I mean, like, well, I don't even think I could beat end of movie Victor Suero. I think I could find him because he's not very good at it. But like, I think I could find him after, like, during the between 2 and 3.
Okay.
Like when he's stuck in the subway, I could definitely find him. It'd be hard, like, to sneak my way in, but like we all know where he is. And then after that, what does he do? He gets in a cab and just drives, right? So like that would be tough. Yeah. I don't think I could get him. I don't think I could kill any, because they do get big old guys. Like, he's just a big guy.
Yeah. What about any of the hunters, like Nixon?
Oh my God, no! I don't think any man alive could take down Nixon for good. He would never stop killing you until it's not allowed. And then, but yeah, I feel like, I feel like I would not. I don't think I would buy the woman that they find. But I don't know. I think it's such a preposterous explanation that I go like, I guess that is what she's doing. She loves telescopes. I don't know. But yeah, no, I think I'd do pretty poorly. I mean, I don't think I'd be quite in the situation he's in because I definitely wouldn't do this stealing money thing that he does in the beginning of the movie that makes it all really, really difficult. So yeah, I don't know. I think if I would have tried to make deals with every single hunter, like, and eventually one of them, the Bostonian, would probably bite, and then we'd be good.
You think so? I think because that's probably what everyone tries. And they're like, no, not doing it.
Like the Bostonian, I feel like you got to be like, listen, the other hunter's going to get here soon. Like, I don't know why any of the other hunters don't show up in the hour he's just hanging out there, but like, other hunters going to get there soon.
None
they
of
might
the rest
get you.
Could think of the brilliant plan to use a costume cop badge to sneak their way into the crime scene.
Yeah, right.
That's right. I mean, it is a brilliant plan.
Basically just go under the yellow police tape. Like, just no problem.
Yep. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I definitely...
So we gotta get rid of our street closed unit cops. It's not good. It's not good.
I definitely couldn't kill him. I don't think I could kill anybody. I'd be good at the game. I think I could survive by just riding the subway or whatever. Honestly, I'd get bored and be like, I don't want to go outside. Be on a subway for like 8 hours. It's gross. But, yeah.
To not die is pretty good motivation, I think.
Yeah, how long were we in our houses before we were like, listen, I need to go to the movie theater and eat popcorn with my mask off? Like, I feel like I would get bored pretty quickly in this situation. But, yeah, I don't know. You know what the other thing that Victor could do that he doesn't do is, like, dress up, you know?
Yeah.
Put on, like, something. Like a fucking Times Square Grover costume or something.
That's brilliant.
Just do that.
Yeah.
they'd never find you.
It's true.
Maybe they'd see your sneakers, but like, yeah, I think you could do that for a while.
Yeah, you could play enough like shell game, I think, to make it a non-issue.
Absolutely, but yeah, he's not great at this. You want to talk about? You want to get to our classic segment, you guys?
I would love that.
All right.
I don't know if I would.
Let's recommend some things to the fine people, and since he wants to so badly, let's start with DJ. DJ, do you have anything to recommend?
What? Nando, I obviously have something to recommend to the people. That would be crazy if I didn't.
I know. That's why I started with you. Besides that, I always do. I was like, well, DJ's got to have something exciting.
Yeah, what have I watched? I watched, I don't know, it's been like a lot of the same stuff. Oh yeah, here we go. So, okay, this is like recommendation part 7, but I think we say that new seasons of Things Count.
That's, yeah, usually.
All right. So what did drop, and really I'm like in for a penny, in for a pound at this point, but I'll share with the group. Attack on Titan season 4 part 3 part 2 dropped the other day on Hulu.
What? How many?
No, this is like a real thing. So Attack on Titan season 4 is the final season, but they had to split it into 2 parts because they couldn't like animate all of enough in time. And then they're like, actually, guys, we need a 3rd part to this thing. So this is part 2 of part 3, which airs in September.
It's like a Hobbit movie.
Yeah, right. I somehow inexplicably still don't know how this thing ends, even though it ended in the manga like 17 years ago.
Oh, really? I know how it ends.
Yeah.
I do too.
I have no idea how it ends. Yeah.
You're going to love it. It makes total sense.
I don't think I am. I don't think I'm going to like it at all.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun.
So it says, like, don't you think Attack on Titan's problematic? I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I'll let you know in, the end of 2027 when I find out. But, I mean, I do like it. Like, I mean, I think the best part for this is Mappa is, like, really good with their animation. And I think it's, like very, very enjoyable. So I've been watching that. I've been watching, you know what I started watching? I started watching My Hero Academia.
Oh.
Like, legit. Like, it would have been real helpful if I did that before the podcast, because, like, knowing what I know now, I'm like, oh my god, we're such idiots.
No, we're not. We're great.
You needed to watch My Hero Academia to know that we're idiots.
That's true. What?
Yeah, true.
What were we idiots about, or what would you like to apologize to Nick for us butchering?
We were just like so wrong about so many of the characters, and just like how some of the circumstances and things come up. But like it is a good anime. Like for like a shonen, right? And like if that's your thing,
it must be. It's so popular.
I will say I feel like it's weird. The movie we watched, like the characters that they chose to showcase was like an interesting batch of characters, because I think they're like more fun characters that like we didn't see. Oh. Like the grape head guy who does the sticky balls. He is truly the worst. He is awful.
I told you. You didn't believe me.
Wild, he's in that movie. Yeah, there's so many other good
he's
ones.
awful and then he's a bad guy, or he's boring?
No, he's just like really boring.
Oh.
I got wrong that the Fire Ice guy's dad is a villain. He's actually the number 2 hero. Oh. He's just got like a complex because he's like mad at All Might because like All Might's so great. And he's like, why the fuck is All Might so great? I'm great too. So he's like a douchebag, but he's not a villain. He's in fact a hero. So I got that one wrong. But yeah, it's good. There's 6 seasons, and I'm in the middle of season 2 right now. So it's like background for me. It's like I'm just like home, like chilling with the baby. I just throw on My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
So this is like background stuff. It's like good for that. But yeah, sorry, my recs are pretty weak this week because I haven't watched anything that new or interesting or fun or whatever. So I apologize to our listeners.
Diggins, what about you?
I'll try better next time.
Do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I'm kind of in a similar boat where I don't have any strong recs this week, but I can toss one out for you here. I watched a movie from the 70s, 1974 to be precise, called Juggernaut. It's kind of like a classic bomb disposal thriller where the premise is this terrorist has put 7 bombs on like a big ocean liner, which for whatever reason, the owners have decided to call Britannic, because naming something after the Titanic can only end well. So it just becomes this thriller of like a bomb disposal unit is like parachuted to the boat so that they can try to figure out how to defuse these bombs before time runs out. Because the terrorist is demanding money in exchange for not blowing up the boat. And so it's like half a really great, like, tense thriller about disarming a bomb, where it really is just like making just like that raw tension of just like a guy with a set of pliers and other tools fiddling around with a mechanical device that at any moment could explode and kill him. And have a not very interesting human interest drama about the passengers. But it does have a very young Anthony Hopkins in it as the police superintendent.
Academy Award winning, better than Chadwick Boseman.
Academy Award winning,
Hopkins.
And Richard Harris, I think, plays the lead guy, who he's also like, he's very fun in the role. The character's very quippy is not the right word. Very sarcastic. Very
I know
jaded.
who he is, but like, what's he from?
That's a great question that I know the answer to off the top of my head.
Like he's in the Harry Potters, but who is he in them? Oh, Dumbledore. Oh, original Dumbledore. Okay.
Oh, interesting. So
Yeah,
yes,
that makes sense.
but yeah, so it's not an amazing movie or anything, but like I said, the bomb disposal thriller parts of it are genuinely very good. And it's a decent way to spend some time. I think it's free on Tubi, so not breaking the bank either.
That's great.
Yeah. What about you, Nando? Do you have anything to rec?
I would recommend. I've been watching. No, I guess I haven't been watching anything super new. I saw the new John Wick movie, which we'll do eventually, I guess, whenever it comes out. It's good. The John Wick movies are just these like ultra competent action movies that are good. So there's not really much to say about it besides I liked it. Without like spoiling parts of it. The other thing, I'm reading a comic that is this month's book club comic, so I've finally like gotten into it. It is by Jeff Smith, the guy that makes Bone. And it is a Shazam comic. So it is Shazam, the Monster Society of Evil. So if you want the movie that the other ones keep teasing that we're not getting, you can have it happen in your brain when you read this comic. It's pretty fun. I don't know too much about Shazam. Like, he's not my favorite guy, but I enjoy him in this. He's cool. So yeah, I had a good time with it. I would say, it definitely, like, the art style is interesting, and it helps if you already know some Shazam stuff. But yeah, besides that, I don't know. I read that. I've been watching some things. I feel like I've been watching like videos, but I don't know which ones. And obviously I saw this Dangerous Game movie, which is a real treat, a real event. Thank you, by the way. I believe I got this from the book club too. Someone in one of our threads, this may also have been Nick, was like, "You guys see this is happening?" And I was like, "Absolutely not." And so I would not have known about this had they not mentioned it. So I'm very appreciative of that.
Awesome.
And also, I mean, yeah, now I'm looking at the thing. They also mentioned we have new Most Dangerous, or not, I mean, that's what we just did. New I Think You Should Leave coming out. Cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
Very excited about it. So yeah, I'd recommend Shazam, Monster Society of Evil. Next week, speaking of Shazam in the blank, Shazam and the Fury of the Gods, is that what it's called?
I think so,
it is.
Yeah.
So
Fury of leave your skepticism at the door for any,
is that what they say about it?
personal feelings that you have about people that might be in it. What?
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
No.
Look,
listen.
It's all good.
DJ, if the vaccines worked, then the gods would have given it to us. So.
That's true.
Right. And their Fury.
This is
vaccines
the Fury of the
and
gods.
Fury.
That's right.
Yeah.
I do think, I mean, I've heard mostly good things, and then the Rotten Tomatoes scores came out today, and they were like 65. And I was like, wait a second. So I'm curious to see what the divide is.
Not even the funny number.
That's right. And Diggins loves this one, so I think that part of it's going to be fun, too.
What, Shazam? I love Shazam.
They're your favorites.
Yep,
you like that it's
definitely.
a family, and you like that they got a little tongue-in-cheek energy, finally.
You love Eminem. That he's got
Love
all that
Eminem.
stuff going on.
Apparently Skittles are a big part of this one. You love Skittles.
Yes, famously, I love the Shazam movie. I think it's very good.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to plug, DJ?
So I will plug Roses and Rejections as always, covering The Bachelor as it comes colliding toward its end. We also talk about the new Bachelorette who was announced, which we are unfortunately not excited about.
Oh, what's wrong?
What's wrong with Shlebethany?
Shlebethany just didn't seem very interesting on this season. I'm hoping she's good, but like, I don't know, she cried a lot.
Ugh.
And I'm like, they can edit these things to, I know, take out all of like the crying and stuff. So I don't know why that was
I don't
part
know.
of it.
As someone who also cries a lot, I do relate to that.
That's fair. Just don't love seeing it in my reality TV shows with the leads. I like it when the other people cry. I want to be like, oh, these leads.
I only like certain people's emotional pain.
Duh. That's why I watch. The other thing I would like to mention is that we have launched, as of you hearing this, our annual March Madness brackets. This time, men and ladies, so you get 2 chances to win. So I know we tweeted this out from the account. Flawlessly, I should say. Perfect tweets all around.
I think we can all agree that they were not only the greatest tweets that mostly nitpicking's ever tweeted, but perhaps the greatest tweets ever tweeted.
Man, I did not see these tweets. I can't wait to find out what makes them so great.
Oh, yeah. Better than Elon's. Now, I will say, if you didn't know about this, if you have an ESPN bracket already made, even after the tournament started, you could join our group, retroactively.
It's true.
So it's not too late to join if you have an existing bracket. So just keep that in mind if, you're just hearing about this now and, we were negligent about telling. There is still a chance as long as you have some kind of bracket going. So hope you guys can join, if you have something like that. And yeah, the winner gets to... Are we changing the rules where the winner gets only one, or gets 3 movies to suggest to us, not one, you must do this movie?
I think that might be helpful. And when I say that to the people, just trust us. We will know which one of the things you suggest will make the funnest pod. But if you're really, really set on one thing, then no, we'll probably do that.
Also,
if this is a Spice World situation, you've been dying for Spice World, then yeah.
If you pitch Spice World, I would be like, yeah, it's going to be a good one. Everybody loves that stuff.
Also, listen, hey, if you need help picking some real fucking stinkers, some absolute trash garbage, that would make a fun episode, but would also allow me to inflict torture upon my co-hosts. You know where to find me.
It's a great point.
Also, if you pick Johnny Stacchino, we will do it. 100%, we will do Johnny Stacchino.
How dare you, lying to the fine viewers like that, / listeners.
I think that's what Roger put, or it might be someone else, as their movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Good for them. Smart choice.
That's something you do. You could make your bracket name the movie. I saw some good ones. Shrek 2, I saw in there.
Oh, that could be fun, yeah.
That'd be a good one. So yeah, you could add some fun there.
That person should just suggest Shrek 2, Shrek 3, and Shrek 4. Those are the 3 suggestions.
I mean, Shrek 4's got to be the funniest one, because I've not seen Shrek 4 in so long.
Neither. I don't think I've seen it, period.
Yeah, honestly, me too. I do think it tends to be funniest when we don't know that much about the thing.
Yeah, it's true.
So, interesting. Looking forward to that. I made my bracket. Diggins, have you made yours?
Nope. I gotta pretend like I know what I'm talking about and go make those, I guess.
Luckily, they all come with numbers.
Hit the random.
Or that, that too.
Yeah, you can hit the random button. Just embrace chaos.
Yeah.
Michelle made hers based on what logo she thought the best, so she has the Louisiana Raging Cajuns winning it all.
What seed are they?
13.
Okay, it's gonna be a historic year.
So,
good luck good thing she got Spice World already. This may not have been the time, but you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, I
right?
haven't picked
That's
my one we've done. Although maybe that would be a Goldberg T-Rex one because we keep talking about it.
Oh, Theodore Rex? That would be one of my absolute trash fires that I would suggest.
That'd be a pretty fun one.
If I win, we're doing swing vote.
Like I said,
I wanted to swing vote.
Oh, sure.
Listen, guys.
Someone suggested draft day, and I think that might be fun. I agree with whoever said that, but yeah.
Make Diggins watch a football thing? Oh, my goodness. Yes, please.
Listen, if you guys need to know about Theodore Rex, you need to know about Norm the Gnome, or if you need to know about fucking Sherlock Gnomes, if you need to...
Oh, yes!
You need to know about... Oh, we already did Mac and Me, actually.
We did do Mac and Me, and that was fantastic.
I enjoyed that one.
One of our
I really
best.
liked Mac and Me.
Listen, I'm just saying, I know a lot of weird, obscure trash, if you need some help.
Well, yeah, we'll let everybody can kind of put in their 2 cents, and we'll see what happens. But you got to win first, so good luck with that.
Right, Diggins, you got any plugs?
Yeah.
Just my usual stuff. I have my newsletter, Little Perspective.substack.com, and I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/this is a non-name. What about you, Nando?
I have videos coming out. One will be out pretty soon, probably. That's my what should Marvel do with all these kids? They got too many kid characters. What are they going to do with them?
Euthanization.
Like, which thing did they go in? I feel like they got to figure that out soon because there's so many. What'd you say?
Euthanization?
I mean,
of the youth?
Certain ones, probably. People have mixed feelings about that Ant-Man movie, I guess. So it depends. They could just recast her for the 8th time. No, I think people like her mostly. But yeah, that'll be out. And then I have another video that'll be coming out soon. That's my Phase 4 was an all bad video because I wanted to make that because I saw a tweet. Another thing, I was on a podcast this week. It was the Movie Struck podcast. I want to make sure it was definitely out, right? I didn't make this up. Yeah, because I listened to it. Every episode just talking about a movie. I chose Nope because it was Oscar day, and also that movie is great. So you can listen to that on, Patreon, or not Patreon, Jesus. I mean, you can probably. You can listen to that on all the podcast apps and stuff, but yeah, it's called Movie Struck, and yeah, I did mine on Nope. Until next week, I've been at Nando Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woohoo!
Bye. We love you.